Good evening and welcome to Audio Dungeon. I'm your host, Tony Hanson, joined by the rest of the Audio Dungeon crew, Ross Bertaro, Dan Isgro, Damian Skro, and inside we have Todd Heaney, as always. Guys, what's up? So today we are not doing Knights of Andar, although you see Knights of Andar right above my head. So that's a blatant lie. It's a lie.
Sorry.
So we cannot do it. We have too many people down from being sick, COVID, and just it's just the way these times are around New York, New Jersey area right now. So we thought we'd be good for today, but at the last second we were not.
We're getting hit hard.
Yeah. So today we're going to probably play Escape the Dungeon. We're going to talk about the upcoming series that's going to debut in January for us. And we're going to play Kingdom of Elden today. So
Cool.
if only we could remember all the crazy characters we created.
We went through the list.
We should create some new ones today. We had so much fun doing that. We should create some more new ones also.
What, like new?
Do you have the money? You have the money, right? How much it costs?
Yeah, I have how much we have remaining, how much we've spent, and I have like all the list of people we interviewed the last time.
We should just hire some new people. I'll leave it up to you. If you want to hire new people, we'll go into that mode. And if you want to go on an adventure with some of the people, we can. If you want to send them out, we can. If you want to do work on the city, we can.
So we can see what the fans say too, if they're around, like if they,
Yeah, we'll feel it out and see what we want to do.
Get their input as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And so we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna play Kingdom of Elden. We're gonna escape dungeon, and then right now we're gonna do a quick little nerd news, just talking about some things that are going on. So yeah, guys, welcome to the stream. I hope you're hanging out with us. Oh, you got a reroll. You can give out rerolls. It'll be a bonus. People are here. Give out rerolls right now. This will be for I guess it'll be for today or next week, whatever you guys want. This is for Dan coming in from Jason Spector. Reroll to Dan.
Thank you, Jason. What do I have here? That's not even.
Reroll to Rob today from Richard Wild.
Thank you.
He thinks you're gonna need it no matter what happens. And that is it for now. So nerd news today. So I was just saying to Dan before we went on. We were talking about the Willow series. Disney got rid of 50 shows.
Wow, was it that many?
Yeah. And out of the 50, one of them was Willow, and Warwick Davis is not happy about it.
Me neither.
Which I understand.
Yeah, I mean, why are you going to take it off the service? I mean, it was only on for like a little while, and I enjoyed that show. I would have watched it again.
I would have too.
Yeah,
like there was
definitely.
Well, I was talking to a few people about it. I had met some new people over the summer, and we just started talking about Willow. And this one woman I met was like, "Yeah, it was just like a very, very comfortable show, you know. Like I feel like I watched it and just kind of like enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the relationships, and just kind of like felt good after I watched it. And now it's just
it must have just
gone, you know.
It must have just not had the numbers.
Thank you, Charles. By the way,
I mean,
I know,
but like. You know, and we've spoken about this. I feel like, you know, now streaming being what it is, like streaming services are their own studios, and studios are their own streaming services. So, like, what got me excited was that, like, you know, they're not running out there and like grabbing this IP, and the studio doesn't have to have a contract with
there.
Whatever.
Built in.
It's like it's my thing. Like I'm producing it, I'm putting it out there, so I just make it and put it on my channel, and now I have a bunch of content. Boom.
And then they took it away from us.
Exactly.
Why?
Like
Why'd you take it away?
like I didn't foresee this coming. Like I didn't think like if there's an entity out there that's going to create its own content and then put the content out there that there'd ever be any reason for them to just take it away.
Just take it away.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I could almost see if it was like maybe if it was more successful and they wanted to release it like I don't know in other like mediums or something like that, and they were like, well, we don't want you to stream it, we want you to buy like the new like high definition whatever like Blu-ray or something like that. I could almost see that as like a thing, but like. Or something like really bombed, but like there's plenty of people that enjoyed that show. It wasn't like
it's
that bad.
tough
I mean,
because
like, I liked it a lot.
we don't. In the end of the day, we don't know.
I guess so.
If the numbers, like, what if they look at the numbers and, you know, like it just tanked, you know, like certain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it would have like still like I think people would have maybe found it. You know, like if it was still on there, maybe I don't know, because people are still like the original movie's still on there. People are still watching that, right? I mean,
I think what happened is that we finally reached the end of what they're calling the golden era of TV, which we've been in for a long time now. And they're not announcing this, but hearing that so many times and wondering when that's going to end, I think you would say it's over when no longer are you just trying things out, because that was an era of like, let's throw this in the wall, throw that, and see what goes. But now, like, is there enough TV? Yeah, there's a lot of shows and a lot of different networks.
True.
And the fact that I think that you have more streaming networks that are now getting on their feet. I feel like some of them weren't really competing well with Netflix, but now they're starting to have different shows. And I'm wondering now if they've reached a saturation point where people just don't have the time to watch all that TV.
This is, I mean, it's a good point that like there's a ton of competition out there, but going back to my original point of like they're not spending money to acquire a contract to put a movie or to put a property on their
Service.
on their service, because like they're creating the content themselves. So like even if the viewership, the numbers are very, very bad, right? It's not like they're saying, "Oh, we wasted the money to get the contract to stream this movie or to stream this series. Let's just let the contract run out, and then some other streaming service can pick it up." Like, this is my show. Like, I don't understand the benefit of saying let's not make it available anymore. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
But is it about the royalties that would have to be paid to the producers? Right, there are still producers of the show outside
Possibly.
of Disney.
Possibly.
That get paid for it running.
That could be a factor that we just don't know enough about.
I wonder. And could
Yeah.
there be a time in the future where theoretically some other streaming service
Picks
could,
it up.
where Disney no longer has exclusive
Right. Maybe
rights
it'll
to
pop
it?
up on something else.
Because in the old days, that's what would happen, right? NBC would launch a TV show. You would get one season, it would flop.
Right. And then
And
we
that
go
would
to
be, it would be
another one.
gone for a while. But every now and then, some show might buy.
Yeah.
It still
the rights
happens.
to that show,
I
and
just
it's,
saw a
you know-
bunch of HBO shows pop up on Netflix, like not too long ago. Band of Brothers, The Pacific is on there right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Those would never have been on Netflix
Right.
prior, right? I mean, like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
odd, but
Because they're starting to play
things
ball. Like, you
happen,
know what?
right.
Let's
Things
make money
happen.
off this. It's sitting here. How many people are watching Band of Brothers? I can sell it to Netflix for a couple $1 million and, make something of it. And
guess.
maybe that'll happen. So maybe down the road, so like you try to predict things, right? So perhaps, although Disney is a company, I would say that is very much about the lineage, and they seem to, when you go there, like the Great American Movie Ride, they love to protect American cinema. And they find it. It's almost like they're putting themselves in that role a bit. And when they collected everything, that felt very right for what they were saying discreetly. That like it's almost like this is the American brand, American television. So I can almost see them holding on to something and not saying we'll give away the rights to do a Willow show. I can see them not doing that because that may not be worth somebody taking the brand and changing it and doing something else. But maybe down the road, 2 decades or whatever, that could be possible. But right now, I feel like they're just going to sit on it, unfortunately, and they're going to do nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe
so annoying.
Maybe it'll be like the last thing to pop up. Or
And, is there. Willow maybe is just a bad brand, right? The film was a flop.
oh no,
The film was a flop, regardless of
just keep the camera on Dan for this.
regardless of how you feel about it from a quality point of view, just from a business point of view.
Okay.
The movie was not
Successful.
a success,
Okay.
right? And the
True,
show
true.
is not a success, and there's just nobody wants Willow, and the Willow.
Stop saying that. That's awful.
In what universe do Rob and Dan like not have some kind of
How you
bickering?
gonna say nobody when the guy sitting next to you is like a huge fan? Like, how
Very
you gonna
limited
use that?
audience wants Willow, and
Wearing gray shirts.
and the show didn't do enough on its own, and with these big like Willow's something that's very well known. So it just creates this bigger, just like the movie was, it's a bigger failure. And having these IPs, sometimes it creates almost a bigger risk for Disney, right? NBC in the old day would create
Yeah.
these kind of shows out of nowhere, and when they flopped, it was like, whatever. But now Willow was like, it was kind of doomed to failure from the beginning. I don't see a world where Willow was ever a success for Disney.
Okay,
Oh, man.
so 2 points to that.
That's rough.
Number one, if that's your measuring stick, what is Disney going to produce besides Star Wars and Marvel? The answer is nothing.
I
The
don't-
answer is if you're looking for creativity, and you
I know.
you have a problem with like, oh, we made Willow. Maybe the Star Wars audience, maybe the Marvel audience is not there for this type of product, but Like, why do we watch TV? We watch TV to see creative stuff. And if the only measuring stick is going to be, well, you didn't hit the numbers that we're looking for, like, that's why you have your own playground to make whatever content you want to make and put it out there. So if you're just going to play the game of like, oh, well, not enough people watched it, let's take it away from everybody, then, like, you know what? Get rid of Disney Plus.
Is that as viable?
Take
Also,
Disney
it's
Plus
like,
and
you
It's
know,
a flaw
throw
of
it onto
streaming. The
movie.
old system worked better with independent production companies, right?
Maybe you're right,
making
man.
content and trying to produce as high quality content as they could to get studios or to get channel networks to pick it up. Instead of
Could be
now,
right.
this working from the other way is it's putting a lot more risk too on the.
Are we also? This is not a question, a baiting question. This is an honest question. Are we also looking at it from the wrong point of view? Like we're looking at it as like
Maybe.
like Disney is sitting there with like, oh, we have Willow here, but Disney is almost like, no, we got Willow, but like, it's not what we want. It's we'll do it. It's in there, but they're like, it's like they're standing behind Willow and like that's their bread and butter.
Disney never wanted Willow. It
They
just
need to
came
be
along with Star Wars,
They
right?
need to be convinced.
guess.
Right. Exactly. That's
It
what
was
I'm trying
just
to
a
say.
throw in.
I
By the way, you
guess.
get Willow. They were like, what? Oh, great.
Yeah, exactly. That's but like,
Willow.
but
My
again,
other thing
like,
is like, how much was it costing Disney to just keep it on the service? Like, you know, we mentioned that.
But
and,
it
like,
also-
I have no idea what the answer to that question
But
is.
it also, one, it might detract from people going in to see Willow and then losing it and then going to another network. So they may look at it as like, well, I don't want 5 duds out there in their
Right.
perspective because
Oh,
people come on for that and then go somewhere else. They want you to hit on a success, stay, and say, what else can I watch? So I just think it's it's just business.
No, that seems
Wait,
like
like
to me that seems like a little bit of a stretch in a way because I feel like it's like, oh well, I don't like the show, but I'll just watch something else on Disney Plus. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm gonna like go to a whole nother platform necessary if I don't like the thing that's on there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I'm just guessing at possible things they're looking at that we're not
Yeah,
thinking of.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
Someone wants to weigh in here, the perfect person in the world.
hey,
Disney will never
Hey.
give over rights to anything they own. They were losing their collective minds when the copyright on Winnie the Pooh went into public domain. He says further, they didn't make all the characters completely annoying. Willow would have survived.
Vin.
Oh,
Vin,
my
God.
Vin,
What
it's
I
like
was
I was
gonna
gonna
say,
say,
like,
it's like you're sitting right here,
Point.
Vin.
I was like, you just had to put in the Vinnie Pro-ness into the.
Don't worry, wait. There's 2
conversation.
more. There's 2 more. As Charles says, I think it was too long to do Willow after the movie. To be honest, they should have called the TV show something other than Willow. It could have confused younger viewers. That's true. And I also want to add to that. I think that younger viewers don't have any feeling about Willow at all, and I think they probably weren't watching at all.
I think the show was much more like CW and like teen drama than I thought it was going to be.
yeah.
So like I thought that in my opinion, like I thought there was a lot there for younger viewers.
I thought there was going to be a larger appeal for a younger audience as well, based upon the show. But
Right.
Yeah.
Richard Wallace says the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series coming. That's end of the day. Like it's obviously it's not personal. They don't care. They just want to make money.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
It is a problem. But I'm saying
It's like
Right.
I guess I'm saying we have to accept it.
It's
Where's
a-
the heart?
yes,
I mean,
yes,
obviously, we gotta
exactly. It's a
accept it, but where's the heart?
multi-billion-dollar company. Like, if you don't make as much profit as you would have made every
So
single
you're saying the
quarter,
problem-
every single year, like give me
But I-
something with heart. Give me creativity.
So the
Don't give
problem
me
was
like,
that Willow-
Willow's got heart, man.
we didn't have enough viewers as we did for the Mandalorian.
So you're
Is
saying as-
everything going to be the Mandalorian? It's not the Mandalorian. Is that the It's not the Mandalorian. We got a big problem here, guys.
Well, the
Who cares?
I was going to say the Mandalorian does have heart.
It's got heart.
For me, it has heart.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean,
I'm
not
just
everything.
I'm just saying.
Not everything can
that-
be the Mandalorian.
That was
That's
a,
my
It's like-
point.
it just
Mandalorian
can't
was a
be.
love letter to Star Wars fans.
Mandalorian is fine, but my problem is that not everything has to be the Mandalorian.
No,
Yes,
I
absolutely,
agree with that.
absolutely.
Turn on
I
Disney
agree.
Plus. Everything is Star Wars. Everything is Marvel. And I will go back to the same
Well,
thing I've said about
they got
Disney
that
Plus
whole
since day one.
National
Where
Geographic
on
section.
earth is my Indiana Jones content on Disney Plus?
Isn't
Not
it
a
there
thing.
now? It is there now.
Movies.
Right.
4 movies.
Right.
That's
That's
it.
How
much would
Not
you
a
have the young-
behind-the-scenes
You're right.
documentary.
What about
not
the young?
animated
Do they have
nothing.
young Indiana Jones Chronicles?
They
They do.
do.
They do have young
I
Indiana
think
Jones
that now
Chronicles.
they do. Yeah.
How much do you want?
I want something original.
Well, there's
He-
probably going to be.
More Indiana Jones.
I could easily see there being a new indie
You want
show
more?
coming up. Like I'm not. I'm just.
I
I have
can't.
no
Look,
idea.
as long
like,
as Disney
I don't
Plus,
see
I could just see if I
reliant
could
on
see
these
that being a
things.
thing that they would like, consider taking that IP and like making a show with like a young cast and,
Disney needs.
we probably wouldn't see any of the original actors or something like that, or
Okay.
very little, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
could
agree.
see
The
something
original
like that.
actors are probably very expensive, but like I've also said this from the beginning. Like, how much would an Indiana Jones animated series cost?
Right, that too.
Is that going
Why
to break?
not?
Is it going to break the bank? Give me a different adventure
maybe
every
they-
week. Is
but
it a
see-
different part of the globe every week? You get a different cameo from a different character every week. It's
I
perfect.
like the idea of an
think
Indiana
that
Jones cartoon. As
It's tricky
actually,
though. I
and-
feel like
and-
that's a harder sell in a way because I feel like once you go animated, the audiences change a little bit.
okay.
Like especially Disney animated stuff. Disney animated content is usually for a younger audience in my
right, and I would
perspective
recommend they
and-
go.
and my feeling.
The
and
indie
stuff.
cartoon should be like the
So-
Buzz Lightyear cartoon was, more comedy driven like that.
Okay, but see, is there an appeal? Are little kids into like Indiana Jones? Is there?
I kind of agree.
It's like
if
kind
I-
of the Willow
I would
argument
press
in
the
a way.
button.
Like
I would press the button if I could just make that show appear. Like, oh yeah, I'd watch it. But like, if you're running the company and you're like, are we just taking an older brand that's literally like it's done
Well, I agree.
in their minds?
I
in
mean,
their minds, not my mind.
The way to go
Don't
with
say
it
it's
is
done.
a cartoon.
Mentally, I got psionic attacks by Dan in that moment.
how can you say it's done?
Did you feel it too? Did you feel-
yeah,
you feel
it was
the-
like a wave of
Did the
energy.
collateral damage?
Yes,
Indie exists only
absolutely.
can exist in a niche format like that anymore. It cannot be a kind of big show to carry the channel. And as long as Star
Right.
Wars and Marvel are these millstones around Disney's neck, that's going to continue to be a problem for them as they
Good
keep.
use of millstone.
Yes, they
I
they
mean,
are
there
continue
is-
like that's
there
going
are
to
other
be
things
that
on
they are
there.
digging their
They-
own grave
they
with
got a
every new
whole-
thing they make. The kids stuff, the cartoons, all of that traditional Disney stuff is strong still.
Yes,
But Star Wars is tapped out. Marvel's
tapped out.
Oh,
Tapped
yes. Tapped out.
Dude, there's
From
some-
Disney's point of view, yes.
It's
No, I disagree because there's some
It's-
very cool Star Wars shit on the way. Pardon my language,
let's
but,
change that to
like-
be at the highest saturation point that it's ever been.
Oh well,
It is
yeah, you could say
Past.
We're
Those days
past
are
that.
gone. The
that.
big
I don't
money,
think
Indiana
so.
Jones.
They
The
have
billions
stuff.
of Star
They have
Wars.
stuff on the way
the
that
billions
like
are gone.
The
They
billions?
Need the billions.
They okay,
money
but
wise.
yes.
I do believe.
All right, I could maybe see
and
that.
Disney
I could see that.
I
has
do
to,
b-
they need to find something new.
I do believe that Marvel intended for them to be a down phase, and this is supposed to be a down phase. And people in this down phase are saying that, but it's over, blah blah blah. But they are in a phase. All they want to do is just put out other content and just keep the status quo. And then they're gonna get behind it and say, okay, now we're making a big push
we're
again
gonna
with the
push
movies.
again, yeah.
And when they do that, it's gonna be all about like, oh yeah, Marvel, it is crazy. You're gonna be right into it again. Maybe it won't
I
be like it was
agree.
before, but it won't be that peak. But maybe it'll be the next peak that comes.
What's
I
so
agree.
so? What's the next big Marvel storyline? Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's even going to begin to touch Infinity War?
No.
Infinity War.
No,
you
I
guys
don't think
watch,
anything will be what it was.
Secret
And I think
Invasion?
that's
Anybody
to
watch-
Rob's point too.
Anybody watch
Y-
Secret
yeah.
Invasion on Disney? The Secret Invasion.
I did. I
series?
didn't love it.
I liked it.
I only watched the first half.
Okay, see, I felt like the second half was significantly better. I felt like it got better as it went. The last couple episodes I thought were way better than
It's
the way
cool.
it started.
It was cool to see him in that stage of life, and but I gotta say, like I watched 3 episodes or whatever. It just felt like that nothing is going on, and I'm just kind of everybody just sitting around talking about how the things used to
Yeah,
be.
the first few episodes felt really slow.
Like let's do something.
I mean,
More
I've had
stuff
that,
happened the last couple, but not a lot.
yeah, I've had that general feel with like the Marvel content. I guess since Endgame, it's like you feel like everything is kind of like
Similar.
yeah, like stuff is happening, but like nothing's really happening.
Let's
You know?
lower.
Well, they can't-
stakes.
Lower
Let's,
stakes. Good
they-
way to put it.
Right.
MCU has become essentially kind of like the Law and Order universe almost.
Oh no!
That's
Wow.
how it is. A less popular version, but Law and Order's success TV-wise one of the
Wow.
most successful things ever.
That's true.
But
A lot of spin-offs and stuff,
tons of
right?
spin-offs
Oh,
and stuff.
man.
But that's what it is now. You've just got these series of kind of dramatic TV shows that have a following, a loyal following, and that's
Yeah.
they just kind of go on. And that's actually not a bad thing to have, but that was great in the old model. I don't know if in the streaming model that's enough to sustain what they're trying to do here and convince people to have a Disney probably has it best because I think for the animated stuff, they'll continue to have that
See,
built-in fan base.
I think again, I think you're right, but I also think their perspective is completely different than ours. I think they're just throwing stuff around and they're saying, "Listen, we made a crap ton of money before, and now we're in the phase where we're looking for new talent." So they're going to put out all this different superhero stuff and see what hits. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Eternals, okay, people didn't really like that so much. This one because they strike gold and they
That's,
can, and
yeah,
they
that's
don't need
not
to.
sustainable with this level of production.
In this
production
phase,
quality,
in
though.
this phase, it is because they don't need to score gold stars every single time. They need to do something to keep, keep it on the standard, and then look for the golden points. Take all the best out and move forward with that. And that's
Because this newest movie now is projecting to be a huge money loser.
Dead-
The
Which
Marvels?
The Marvels. $270 million budget. It's not going to
yeah.
be a hit. It's not going to be a
I
hit
don't think that'll
movie.
do well.
It'll make a
personally,
couple
no.
of $100 million.
I can't say I'm excited
And,
about it. I
you
mean,
know,
I don't
like-
think anyone likes her. I don't like her. I
Yeah,
don't-
I'm
I
not
don't
crazy
Think
They
about it.
Brie
downgraded
Larson's
her.
her name. What's her name? Brie.
Brie Larson.
Oh,
They
yeah.
downgraded her in the sequel, but I think that's going to prove to probably be even bigger mistake because now it's 3 characters,
You know what?
less known, less,
Do you know why that you don't like her? Do you like her or no?
I did not see Captain Marvel. Brie Larson as a whole.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion on her or no?
I like her as an actress. I followed all this stuff online with her about her attitude.
I think that's what. I think that's singly the interviews that she
She's
did.
got some attitude.
The interviews she did with
Really?
with Cheadle and
And
with
Chris
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth.
I think that was the moment, and it was. I realized it was for me.
Oh wow.
That everyone was just like, perhaps.
Oh, there was a lot of
She
there
seems.
was a lot of hate against Brie Larson. I feel bad for her now. There's an interview recently where someone asked her about like, "Oh, when's that new Captain Marvel movie coming?" And she was just like, "I don't know. Does anyone even want me to do it anymore?"
and
And
I was like,
I
she
felt
knows.
so bad for her that
Wow.
way.
She knows.
Like she's not under it. She realized, and even the studio, she knows why she's not. It's not Captain Marvel 2. It's now the Marvels.
Right.
For a movie that made over $1 billion, the way they're trying to. This is the quietest sequel ever.
Well,
in
because
terms of that they're
because the
sneaking it
first
out
one,
the door.
because the first one was the potential of what it could be, and that was a big character, and now with her filling the shoes, it's clear that people, if you can't, when I'm gonna say a dirty word, close your ears, Dan. When Chris Pratt played the role of Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, people were super excited, and then imagine, when Brie comes in and takes that role, and now you're not as excited about the actor anymore, it tanked it, unfortunately.
I don't know. What do you mean?
I think people like right now. I mean, for myself, which I think is what resonates around, is that we just don't like her, and we think that she's kind of rude or just does it kind of ruins the vibe a little bit. And I feel like that not me trying to make that kill for me. I just can't get over it.
Oh,
I just
see.
find that I just don't want to see it anymore.
That may be part of it. I mean, it's a good effect of actors not doing a good job of promoting their own films. Just also, I think it was between Infinity Wars and Endgame, and people were that was peak Marvel. Just the fact that it came out, and at the end of Infinity War, Nick Fury
And it
had the pager, and that was a clue about Captain Marvel, and a lot of people were just like, "Oh wow."
That was the one
you
that
got to see
had-
Captain Marvel before Endgame. There was very much a feel out there.
Right.
That was the one that had all like the
Right.
'90s stuff, right? In it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that was a part of like that movie too, as far as like the promotion and like the enjoyment of it, even too. Like it was a bit of a
So-
nostalgic romp.
And that was
you
back in
know,
what?
to
That was
the 90s and,
2018.
like,
I
that
think
was fun.
it seems like ages ago that movie came out, and
Also, you take that moment in what's the second one? Endgame. The second one.
Endgame.
Yeah.
And I think actually the events in Endgame took place yesterday, October 17th, 2023. That's when Iron Man snapped Thanos out of existence.
Oh man,
Really?
I think so.
how about that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
In the moment when when Captain Marvel comes in, I even remember thinking they were like, "What's this? What's happening?" And when I finally realized what it was, you're like, I remember being in awe, like, "Oh, this is awesome," and I was very excited, like, for the character to come in, but I equally was like, because of her, because I just didn't like her.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember I was like, "Oh, this feels like a Superman moment coming in," but like, it's just not the same thing. So it was cool how powerful she was, and you were excited for the battle, but like, yeah, I just think that it just didn't work. I think it's just a case of, you put an actor or an actress in somewhere, and it just they're not accepted on the whole.
Yeah, I mean, like that could be a significant part of it. I mean, I don't know. She doesn't like the character and the actor don't have a lot of appeal for me. I just like
Right.
I'm not
it
like,
does kind of fall flat a
particularly-
little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
But I liked the movie. The first movie I thought was good. It was interesting.
I enjoyed, especially like the nostalgic bit of it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I kind of enjoyed that. And
I think you got to leave.
know.
I think that movie has to come up, and then you kind of have to leave it where it is and say, okay, this is a part of it. We accept it, but we don't want any more. Don't push it. You know.
well, you
I
get
actually flipping the script. I
it's
actually
coming.
I actually kind of feel that way about Mandalorian, and I love Mandalorian, but I feel like that they capped it off, and now I was just like, I think it should be done. I agree, be done. Like I know they're thinking about continuing or not, but they absolutely could leave it there and then move on to other stuff.
Yeah, they could.
So
I'd be okay with that.
You mean after season
Even though,
3?
You know,
yeah, so I
right
think
where it is.
and I
No,
think-
you're mad about that.
I
mean-
won't comment. I won't comment.
I think that no matter what happens, we're gonna get more Grogu.
Of
I'll say that,
course,
like
yeah,
just because
yeah.
it's
or just
Grogu. I feel like is one of the most successful like Disney characters now. Like
or just goo
you know,
or just goo.
which is Goo. But like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing more of that character in one way or another.
He'll be
Like, they
older.
know,
He'll have
that-
he'll have like a little
but it'll
more
look
hair
the
in his head.
same because you know. Anyway,
That could be another thing, a Baby Yoda cartoon. That's what they need to do. Him in school or something.
there's already
It's-
like
it's
Yoda
gonna-
cartoons.
it's
gonna happen.
They
And there's
got,
a
they
baby-
got all that
what, like a
already.
baby
They've done that kind of thing.
Okay,
though.
here it
They've
is.
done that.
Young
Grogu-
Jedis.
There's the Young Jedi cartoon. They've already done that stuff.
No,
Grogu grows
Yeah.
up.
This is not Young Jedi cartoon.
No, but
This is going to be the cutest thing.
Grogu
It
grows
is
up.
that's a
cutest thing.
cute. They did that, right? They
You
tried
ready?
to do that.
Here it is, off of what you just said. Grogu grows up. Gru. Sorry.
No, they're gonna have a movie
Grogu
with him.
Gru. You know.
It's gonna be him and Ray
And
Skywalker
he
in the
raises.
next movie.
He raises. Wait
Think
for
about
it. A little human.
Okay.
Oh.
Maybe. No, I don't know. Maybe a baby. Has to be a baby.
He's still on it.
Yes, a baby. That's
I
what
don't
I'm
want this
saying.
kid to be able to talk. Like in The Mummy, too. I don't want some, like, precocious 9-year-old.
Okay.
And Grogu.
With a character that lives so
You know what I
long,
mean?
you have this great opportunity to like do whatever you like. They could put Grogu in like all kinds of places. They could have Grogu show up in a movie with Ray and Finn and all those
I heard
characters.
Grogu's going to be in Deadpool
you know.
3.
Really? That'd be amazing.
Wow.
No.
That'd be good. That'd be great.
Would it?
That
no.
movie's gonna be like that, though. You know,
Uh,
it's gonna be ridiculous in a way of.
That's not good.
Like,
That's what
you don't
want?
think it's gonna be ridiculous?
No, it isn't ridiculous. You want Grogu there? I was just kidding.
I'm just saying, if they threw Grogu in there somehow,
fine.
like,
For a quick
guess.
joke.
it would probably be funny. Like,
quick-
you
Right,
don't
you
think
don't
so? Like,
You don't want him as, like, a main character.
I don't.
Like,
Yeah,
Grogu's-
no, I'm not saying that.
now
I'm
on
saying
Grogu and-
like somehow,
Deadpool
like
or-
I could just see that happening, though. It'd be funny.
Are we excited for
I don't
Deadpool?
No.
No.
I mean,
Damien, you
I'm-
excited for Deadpool?
Yeah, but yeah, kind of.
I don't know if I saw Deadpool 2.
I did.
I know I saw
Yes.
Deadpool 1, and it was
I like
it was,
love
a
Deadpool
movie.
1.
It's more like Deadpool is the third one is supposed to have every X-Men character like known to man in. So like they're bringing a lot of people
Hugh
back.
Jackman, that's the
Hugh
big,
Jackman.
that's
okay.
the big stellar.
Right.
So-
In
There's
the
gonna be a
old,
big-
in
there's
the
gonna be a
old
big movie.
costume, in the old Wolverine costume,
You
like in
okay?
the yellow costume.
Yeah,
it's
All
gonna
right,
be
but like, how many times did he like
Remember
play
you said you wanted
Wolverine
Hart?
for
A lot.
the final time?
lot of
Like,
times.
Come on,
But you
man.
wanted Hart.
Like,
Like he's in the costume. That's
That is
Hart.
not Hart.
It's Hart. That's
I
fan
don't know.
service.
Deadpool
let's
3
let's,
is
It's
hard.
fan
let's,
service.
let's pen an original
it's not
movie for
necessarily-
Deadpool and for Ryan Reynolds, who plays it. What can we do? I know. Let's bring back every character in the whole year. Let's bring back Hugh Jackman and have him play Wolverine again. Come on.
I don't think you understand what is going on in Deadpool.
Okay, fill me in.
Deadpool was Ryan Reynolds trying desperately with his heart to like make a movie about a character that he loved because he thought the character was not getting the proper service that it should. So
Okay.
this movie is all about the heart of him trying to make this character work and doing it the right way because he wanted to do it for the fans and himself. And the fact that he's getting up to 3 and he's achieved to get everyone back into a movie that his idea, and for you to turn around and say there's no heart in that movie, sir, I say you are incorrect.
Wait a second.
I kind of agree.
If I watch a movie and experience a movie, and then you have to tell me everything that went on to get that movie to be made in order to convince me that the movie has heart, when I watch the movie, I should be able to decide for myself. This movie's emotional. This
I
movie is genuine and organic. This movie is heart.
I agree. When you see the second one, let me know.
Oh, really?
Oh, because the second one's when all the
didn't
heart
see-
comes
you didn't
out.
even
Is that
see
where
the
it's
second
going?
one.
You didn't see the second movie.
Ah, you didn't even see the second
So
one.
you
Come
let me
on.
know.
But I will say this about
Yeah.
Deadpool 3.
Yeah, you
I
need to see
predict
that.
this will be the end.
Of
Mark
what?
my words, of
They said it's gonna be
this
the end.
modern, no, not just specifically X-Men movies or anything like that.
Everything.
Of the world?
This era of the comic book movie that launched,
Okay.
coincidentally enough, with the first X-Men movie.
Okay.
When was that, 2000?
Yeah.
Something like that.
This is it. Now, there will continue to be lots of movies,
Okay, I
but
can see
I
that.
think this is
The end of what?
bookended it. This era
The
of
era
comic book
of-
movies. The era that started with X-Men and has carried through these last 20 years.
How do you-
It ends now.
What's the destination after?
When,
Yeah, but
combat-
like,
comic, when comic book movies were the most popular movies.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because
Right,
before
'cause
then, you
now-
had the old endless
the
men were
audience is
Batman.
a little-
Yes.
You had the Superman movies. They were popular, sure. Very popular Superman and Batman movies. But,
Yeah.
you know, they were just there. Kind
Right.
of. They weren't the most popular movies. Then
Right.
with X-Men,
And
obviously,
it grew and became
after
this
that, you
huge
had
thing, and everybody was seeing all these
Spider-Man with
comic
Tobey
book
Maguire really kicked it into high
Right,
gear
that
then.
kicked it
And
into
then,
high
of course,
gear. Yep.
MCU took it
You
to
got
the
Iron
next
Man
level.
in
Right.
I
2008.
think
yeah.
you're right.
And I think,
the-
you know, MCU's already kind of peaked and done. And now this Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman, it's significant. Very significant that he's back because it is the end of what he started.
Interesting.
Interesting. These
I
days
like
started
it.
it.
The end of the Wolverine character should have been Logan. Logan was very, very,
Oh, man.
very,
What a
very
great
well done.
movie.
That's a movie with heart.
That's a movie with heart.
That's a movie with heart.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
I like Logan. I didn't think it was that great.
I think
but
the Deadpool movies have heart. I gotta agree with Tony.
I like Deadpool more
on
than
that,
Logan.
yeah.
I think that's a fair.
I like
statement.
What?
Oh, no way.
What?
Yes.
No way.
Logan's
No
a very
way.
different movie.
It's very different.
They're very different.
But you got to stack them up head to head.
Logan's quality.
They got to
I
go.
would
They got to get into the ring.
I go Logan over
Deadpool
the
takes it
Deadpool
down.
movies. Logan over the Deadpool movies for me.
Like I just like I when I watch a movie, I don't want to get the feeling that this whole thing has like a feeling of being manufactured, you know? Like I want the feeling of,
True,
hey,
agree.
I have a great idea for a great script for a great movie. Here it is. And then boom, it turns it in.
Like Rocky.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm
oh, like
excited.
Stallone with Rocky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Logan and Stallone, I'd turn you to Over the Top as a similar movie to Logan that you might like.
Okay.
What?
Yes, it concerns a parent and child taking a road trip together and
He's
learning about each other.
learning about arm wrestling.
I feel like
Learning
that's
about arm
probably.
wrestling. In one case, it involves arm wrestling. In another one, it involves mutants and fighting other mutants and government guys. But the basic plot is the same. They're the same movie. Instead of like that guy, you know, they're
don't
being
think
hunted.
so.
You know, they're being hunted by that like Southern guy, whatever he is. And Over the Top, Robert Loggia.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Robert Loggia is the one hunting them.
In Logan, like the
Again, say
heart,
it again.
the heart of Logan is that like you know the Wolverine character is kind of like he's old man Wolverine. So like he's exploring, hey, like I've lived this entire life as this person and everything that I put myself through and everything, and you know, and then he sees Professor X. Everything that Professor X went through, like, was it all worth it? You know?
Yeah, he was
it
asking
was a
himself
ver-
that when he helped Professor X go to the bathroom. That's probably what he was asking
Okay,
himself. Was
okay.
this worth it? And I'm sure he said yes because you know,
It's not easy getting
I wouldn't
old.
have. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, but good for him.
If you want to talk about a movie with heart, I address you to Starship Troopers 3 with is it Casper Van?
Is he in the
Diem?
third one?
Yeah, I think so.
He's back.
I think so, but that is a series with epic heart.
Wow.
Would you like to know more?
The first one was good.
I love the first one. I remember when we saw it with my brother, and everyone was shocked as hell that it was good because you started like, what am I watching? And then it was like, just took
Yeah.
over. You just loved it.
Absolutely fantastic movie. Great director. So I wasn't shocked going in. Paul Verhoeven. We all know what he
Word.
did.
That's right. Yes.
What did he do?
A little movie called RoboCop.
Yeah.
A little movie called RoboCop.
You know, I thought of you today
No.
because I saw like a Blu-ray release of this movie called RoboDoc.
Oh, what? RoboCop.
It's like a 4-part documentary about the making of RoboCop.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'll have to find it.
DOC.
I thought it was
Yes.
like a like a kind of similar to RoboCop, but in a
He's a
hospital.
boat.
Like, no, we've made a doctor who's better. RoboDoc.
RoboDoc.
He operates.
He could do all kinds
and the
of
first
surgeries.
guy, and then
Doesn't
the
matter
opening
how
scene,
long.
like
no,
with
it's-
Ed 209.
He's a doctor.
That's what he was saying.
I was thinking he's a boat.
Not
like
a boat, no, a doctor.
No, no.
And then the opening
Like a
scene, you could do
doctor.
it the same, like Ed 209, but he's like identifies like must have heart transplant, and they're like, no, he's healthy, he's fine, and he goes in and it's a scene, they're like, turn him off, and he cuts the guy's heart out
Oh man.
right in the
That's
boardroom.
awesome. Yes. I want to see that movie now. Sounds great.
Oh man.
I have a question for you going forward. Very soon we're about to. Everybody. Very soon we're about to finish the Knights of Vandar series. Do you guys want to do one-offs for the in between weeks where we just have a few weeks left before we go into the holiday? Do you want to do one-offs where we do like a Karate Kid one-off tabletop session?
Wait,
That's
you
an
mean
example.
like in
all
the
different things.
universe of like the Karate Kid, like? you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Oh, okay,
No,
yeah.
not like Karate Kid, but you're in Dungeons and Dragons world. Like we'll go into the movie, and the movie will change by your decisions. You guys can play the characters, and we just play it to the end of the day, and whatever it completes, it completes.
That sounds fun.
Wow.
Sounds interesting.
Let me know if you guys would want to watch something like that. So
We do our holiday themed one-offs again.
yes,
We do Thanksgiving
last time
one.
you were Swole Santa Claus. That was fun.
Yeah. That was fun.
The fans are like, I thought this was going to be like a chill episode, but this was crazy. You were sitting there.
the Beastborn reindeer came out too.
Yes. Yes. It was great. Michael Aldridge says, can I recommend you guys do a Clue series?
Oh wow.
Oh, Clue.
There's a meme I just sent to Tom the other day. Somebody is like a Dungeon Dragon / Clue meme. And they were saying that like someone wants the DM to do the recap. And it says like, God, please give me the manic energy of
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry in the last scene of Clue, where he reenacts every character's story in 3 minutes.
Yes.
It's a picture of him just like this.
That's great.
So yeah, let us know if you want to see something like that, guys, and maybe we'll do it for fun.
That's always my fallback, the Christmas episode, when the fans make fun of us too much for our horrible plans or horrible execution. Just never forget, their big plan in the Christmas episode was to sell candy canes to the North Pole.
That's right.
Sell candy canes to Santa Claus. Don't get too full of yourselves, fans.
Oh man!
I
He's
remember.
never gonna let them forget
I
that.
remember. Only for when they don't let us forget
Right.
how
Our shortcomings.
ineffective we can be.
The fan player characters, the fans who play, they know, because once they're on a Tuesday nights and something comes up and I'm like 6, 5, and they're like, once you're here and you're making decisions, it's very different than when you're home and not there. It's the same when I watch football. I'm not an avid football fan at all, but when I watch, I do the rookie thing where I'm like, just run around the side and go up, just run away from the guys
All
and
that
go in.
space there. How come you didn't throw it to that guy? He was open.
My brother's like, it's much different when you're there. It's like you can't. It looks like on TV you could just run to the side.
Even when we played Jeopardy a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And
Playing Jeopardy's
we asked. Imagine if I would have bet solid money that if you would have said, if you ask Roz Pataro, what are the 3 people in the Mott lineage? Who are they? Can you name them now?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Clinkerton Mott,
Okay.
Olaf Mott,
Okay.
and Bellamont Mott.
Belmont. And
Hey.
now please state who you said.
I said McCrinkle and Frank.
McCrinkle, Frank, and who else?
Bellamont. I got
Bellamont.
Bellamont.
You got Belmont. Thank God.
Yeah, I got Bellamont. That's my main guy.
McCrinkle. When you,
McCrinkle was close. I was pretty
McCrinkle-
proud of myself for that.
McCrinkle was hilarious, and then when you followed up with Frank, I was like,
I knew it was more simple, the next name.
amazing. It was fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah, that was simply fantastic. But yeah, it's a lot of pressure. When you're in that seat, it's very different than being home and just watching it because you have time to think and relax. And when you're here, like anything else, you're on the spot. You're focused.
Yeah.
When I used to teach, I was talking with Damien sometimes when we would get the kids ready for recitals. And when you do that, I would explain to them there's a big thing that happens when you go on stage. Because right now, when you're in practice, you're at a certain, which nobody thinks about this, you're at a certain level of focus. And right now, we're relaxed, we're talking. We're not like, I better say the right thing to Dan, otherwise, I'm going to lose my job or something like that. I'm like 60% focused, and a part of me is being creative and thinking and whatever. when you go on stage and you become hyper focused, you go from that 50, 60% to 90, 100%, and people can't handle that. So the focus is very different. Now you may not go to 100%, or maybe you do when it's Giordano is coming after you. And I'm counting down 6 seconds. I guarantee you're not thinking about anything else that's outside of this room. So once you go to 80, 90%, your brain is like, oh, I'm used to doing creative work. I'm not qualified to help out with the focus. You turn to Carlinga's brain.
Yeah.
You know,
It's crazy.
but that's-
Definitely changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a couple. Well, I don't mean, it has to be like 10 years ago now. I actually like went and like showed up at an open casting call for what do you call Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, cool.
And like I did a ton of research beforehand because they crowd you up with like whatever however many
Right.
100 people show up, and you sit down and you take a written test.
Yeah, yeah.
And whoever scores above a certain score, you go on to the next phase, like a face-to-face audition or something like that. And like I did all my research. I was like, what happens at the audition? How do I take the test? What happened? And I found out like the only questions they ask you on the test are from past episodes of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So like I found a website that had all the old questions. I went through like studying hundreds, thousands of questions.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And every question I got, I recognized. And I
Wow.
still got a bunch of questions wrong. I still didn't make it to the next round. But it's
Right.
just like when you're like,
Right, under the
just
pressure
like-
and the environment, and the
Mhm.
situation. That's like how it is on stage too. Like you know, or even like here. This is different than playing in somebody's basement. You know, like at a table or whatever. Because
Oh, yeah.
the atmosphere is it makes it different. You know, it puts different sort of pressures on you and puts you in a different mental state that can make sometimes
100%.
remembering
Yeah.
things difficult.
yeah,
Yeah, and it gives credit to people like, to bring it back to sports. Like when you're watching a guy catch a fly ball and it's bottom of the ninth, 2 outs in the World
Right,
Series.
under that pressure.
You know, if it was
right.
you up there had to catch a ball, maybe you start shaking a little bit because I got to catch this ball.
Right.
He's done it 1,000 times. So that level of focus comes down, and they come back down to the level of I'm 70% focused, 30% relaxed,
Right.
and I'm good at this level. But that's what it is. You just can't maintain that going into the spotlight, and when people experience it, they see.
Mm.
So.
Yeah.
I think the fans realize that. Richard, I think, was just saying that too. 100% Tony. It's so much easier when you're on this side of the stream. Yeah, that's what Richard says.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything coming out that like we're excited to see?
You know, I was
TV show,
thinking about
movie,
that.
I don't.
I'm excited for the new Scorsese movie that's coming out. This
Oh, Flowers?
Flower
Flowers of the Killer
Moon.
Moon. Yep.
It's like
Something like that.
like 3.5 days, right? Long.
It's long. It's like 3 hours and whatever, 3.5 hours probably, something like that. But
He didn't get turned off from doing Departed,
It's-
right?
I mean,
Not Departed.
You mean the
The
Irishman?
Irishman.
Yeah.
The Irishman. Like it was good,
Right,
but
there's
just
a lot
really
of
long.
complaints, but still, critically well received and stuff like that. Even though people you talk to, I feel like
The Irishman
are
was
not-
good in all of its parts were good. I don't know if it worked
Mm.
totally in the aggregate as a whole movie. When you watch the whole movie, I don't know if it's satisfying.
I wasn't crazy about
As
it.
I
in-
didn't-
but
I didn't really
you could
like
watch individual scenes, but like, yeah, it's very, very good.
I had issue with when I saw Robert De Niro doing some parts where like he clearly was playing a younger person, but he
some
cou-
of it looked bad.
but he can't do it physically.
His movements are
Yeah.
stiff.
So
Yeah.
Some of that, it's just he should have made that movie 10 years earlier, probably, if he wanted to
Maybe.
not have them be 80. Robert De Niro's 80 years old now. I mean, that came out 5 years ago, so he was 75 at the time.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that's
I
getting
mean-
up there to ask guy to play a 30-year-old, no matter how much the aging
right.
you do.
I guess they specifically didn't want to have a stunt double go in there and do that, but really they should have done that for that like a one scene if
Probably.
it gets physical. For the Indiana Jones for Dial of Destiny, there were some times where in the beginning where I would look at it and you see the eyes are a little bit strange. It's a little bit like like this.
Yeah,
It's slight.
It
It's slight.
is, but it's like just like kind of just starts to nudge itself into like the uncanny valley, where you're like, there's something that looks a little too
Right.
bing,
Right,
about,
but it is at a high level though where I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
I
that
thought it was really well done.
I know
It didn't take me out of the movie at
No.
all, but it
I-
was just like I was like, is it okay?
I know a lot of people didn't have problems with this. I don't think you did. But when we saw Carrie Fisher as Leia in Rogue One, I was like, and I think they changed it over time because the first time I saw it, I was like, yikes. I was like, that was
I
weird.
don't know if they went back and changed that at all. That movie, you know.
Either it got better or I got more used to it, and I
Mm.
don't know. So I'm going to say that maybe they changed it, maybe they didn't. But
Yeah,
it
that
was,
one didn't bother me.
It was not great. And I know that they have a history of doing that. They kind of update certain things. But this one was at the point where I could tell it was a little bit strange, but I was okay with it, and I was able to enjoy it. Like, I'm getting like an old-style Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones moment here
Yeah.
in the beginning of the movie.
I would say it was like with the de-aging, it was like 90-10. Like this is awesome too. Like, is this something off a little bit? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, but still great. And that,
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that whole, like, the movie is so much made better by that whole intro scene.
Yeah.
Because it was so Indiana Jones, exactly the heart of what you want was
Yeah.
in that beginning. You could have turned off the movie.
That
when
could have
they-
been a whole
When they
movie.
went into the movie, and you were just like, okay, great, give me another one of those.
Yes. that could have been an entire movie unto
Yeah.
itself. The whole,
Yeah. So,
Good stuff.
yep. Vinny Pro says they never changed it. So
There you go.
I became more forgiving. But yeah, when I saw it in the theater, I was just like, yikes, that's not okay. Of course, it was precursored by the awesome Darth Vader scene of going down, which was then put to the tune of "Don't Stop Me Now," which is phenomenal. It's great.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Can't beat it.
Yeah. So, what do you want to do? We can talk about the new campaign coming in January. We can play Escape the Dungeon, or we can go into Kingdom of Elden. We could do it in any order you like. What would you like to do, fans or crew? What do you want to do next?
I say we keep conversation rolling. Let's talk about
Let's talk about
the next campaign.
next season. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna be here the weeks forward. Hopefully that people aren't sick and we're good to go back to full staff. And we're gonna be playing till about the midway right before Thanksgiving, and then we're gonna be on break for everyone who wants to know. We'll be on break for the holiday season, and we'll be back in probably the second week of January, third week of January, something like that. When we come back, we'll have a new campaign. Just might as well tell people now, Rob will not be with us going forward, starting in January. But Rob will still be on all of the other the one-offs we're doing, the days we do like Spelljammer,
Yep.
Lightfall, all the cool projects. But weekly, Rob won't be with us. But his legacy will live on. So what's coming up, and I was going to say before that it's not set in stone, but the more I work on it, the more I love it and I enjoy it. I think it's going to be a stellar punk type feel show. It's going to be about 100 years in the future after whatever events happen here. And it's going to, one of the fans was saying last night that it reminded them of like an Altered Carbon, which I haven't seen. And I'll tell you what they were saying why. So the crystals, like in the Soulborn, Crystalborn, have evolved, and the technology that the gnomes have used have evolved, and they're in spaceships, okay? But there's not a lot of them. It's just like the gnomes are going to space, and like no one really else is. It's just the gnomes are doing it, and other people are going who are affiliated with them are going, but like like the queens, they're not going to space, and they just see the gnomes doing crazy things in the sky, and they don't know what it is. But there is a whole storyline going on outside in the upper atmosphere, and maybe even further. I won't give away too much. So they modernize or further develop the technology, and they turn the crystals into like rods, crystal rods. And this is the technology that they use for such things. And what's going to happen is there's going to be another level of like a subspecies of Crystalborn where they are able to, unlike Crystalborn who live within the crystal in the suit, and then the only time they're kind of like disconnected for a while is when they go to sleep. They kind of unconnect, but they're still kind of in touch with the suit. This level of it will be probably like a higher level where the spirit or the soul can just go into one and then can leave. And
A suit or a crystal? You
a
said?
crystal.
A crystal.
And how it's going to work is at this time, people are still wearing armor, like knights are wearing armor. But the armors will have slots in them that you can put in a crystal rod into it. And if a crystal rod goes in, a fan will play that soul, that spirit, and they can actually do things in your suit like they're the AI in your suit. They can also put that crystal rod into a small crystal-born like gnomish mech, like a little like a suit, right? Like a crystal-born suit. and they can then inhabit the suit and do things and fix things around the ship. You can also put them into fighters that'll go out there and protect the ship and go out there.
Or even directly into the ship, right?
Or
You're
they can go
saying
into the
maybe,
core of the
like-
ship. You can turn like so many things. You can actually take we have Richard today, we have Charles today, we have Andrew, we have Tim. We're gonna put these people into the thing, and you can put them into the core and give the fans, if they're present, access to start doing other things to enhance the ship's systems.
Cool.
So it'll be like an era where consciousness has gone to a point where like we know that there's more outside of it. We know because of Crystalborn, but also there's a different relationship with them where they know that every single soul crystal is another like conduit for one of those souls or
Soul.
consciousness to kind of exist, and they willingly or voluntarily go into the crystals and they can help people out if they want to and exist that way, and then they can leave or not. So it's going to be like this technology is furthered, and you guys will be at this team that is brought onto the ship, and basically you're surrounded by all this other technology they can use, and it'll be a strategy of how you use the fans to help you either with the armor, with the walking suits on the ship, the fighter, put them into the ship, and all sorts of things like that.
Cool.
What are your thoughts?
I like it. So the fans are going to be very, very closely involved in what's happening week to week.
Yes, and it could be whoever is there because it could be interchangeable in a way, so that if
Yeah.
a fan couldn't make it, it's okay. Someone else could fill the role, and they can fill that soul crystal.
That's a good idea.
So yeah,
Any idea, like, plot-wise, what's going to be happening?
I do. Not enough to talk about it because at this level I may flip it around different ways, but it's possible you guys maybe how in the story that you guys are the same soul for all your characters, and it doesn't hit you. That plot's not hit you in the face all the time, but you guys are the same soul having different characters, right? Kind of like having past lives in a sense. So they may bring you guys back using technology, bring your souls back into new forms and say, we need your help. And then you have the option to say, yeah, I'm going to help you or not. So they bring you back, and that's why you're a part of this. They may give up a lot of crystal and a lot of power and put together this thing to like bring back the soul of Hogar, even though like you'll be in whatever form you are, and you'll have like this memory like you do right now of like you playing it, but it seems so distant and in the past. And it might even seem to you when you're on this forum as like, it sounds like something I just heard about, but you kind of remember going through it. Exactly how you feel right now about these characters. So that's one thought that may be like how it starts off. And that's it. We'll see.
Cool.
Ask me a question about it or something you would like to see or you think would be cool to add on.
Are we going to be traveling through space?
Yeah.
Going to other planets?
Yes, you'll have sandbox choice to kind of make your decision to include that or not.
So we're actually leaving Andaria and
Yeah.
exploring other worlds.
Yeah, there's stuff going on that's right there in Andaria, right outside, and maybe even in. It's up to you guys, because you can drop down into the atmosphere and go back to Sunken City or wherever you're gonna go.
So it's the gnomes that basically have produced this technology to like go to space.
Yeah,
basically,
and it's
right?
been pioneered by Liv Mora, which is Oni's character, who started that, who already built this ship. Remember in Gnome Patrol.
Right.
Yeah.
So whenever something comes up, like Ormond was for Relic, and Relic was for the entire Crystalborn race, you can trace these things that keep moving technology forward. So when he did that ship, that was like the first of its kind.
Right.
And then people are starting to see it, and the gnomes see it, and they work on it, and then 100 years later, they're like just getting into space travel for the first time.
Cool.
And maybe there's like 3 ships. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right.
that-
Yeah, that was like kind of my next question is like, have they made like a space station yet, or is there?
There is
anything
something.
Like, okay.
There is something where they're doing, and they're doing like mining and things like that. But
Cool.
like, it's not a lot. It's like if Earth just went to the moon, and maybe we mined an asteroid, and maybe we're thinking about Mars. Like it's
Right.
very like low level.
Cool.
So
That's exciting. It's like because it still feels like the beginning for them. Like in a way of that.
yeah, it's a
that
way.
exploration.
It's a way. Yeah, exactly. You're right in the beginning of something exciting, a new adventure. It's a way to continue, and it's on top of all this history of the world that we know. So when they talk back about Archie Fint and he created the first suit, it's like looking at like the Wright brothers, when they flew for the first time.
Yeah.
So what happens if the necromancer wins in the current campaign?
The world would be different, and he or something of a remnant will be behind that will say like, okay, this is the world, and the world is still has evil and has good. It exists in both ways. Right now, like let's talk about this. No matter what happens, because we've passed that segment of the story, the Citadel is ruled by vampires, and there's a vampire legit species now. Don't think of it as like a corruption anymore. It's a species, and that's kind of why that plot line was coming up for a while. For him, it's kind of taken that platform to say that Bardot, but that's what it is. So that's going to happen no matter what. So you're always going to have this vampire species that's like they exist there, and humans don't want to go there because they're like, I don't know, I don't want to be a part of that. But what happens to the necromancer? In the next episode we play, I think it'll be the last episode. Think most likely it'll be the last episode. The only way it won't be is if the battle takes so long that it draws into another episode. But after it ends, then we know there's probably about 30 minutes to wrap up. So that's why, I think I think the next episode will be it. So I'd be excited to see if we have everybody here. That means you would face more people,
Yeah.
or
The battle versus Dan.
the battle. You felt good about the battle, right? You felt like that you held your own. You kind of got, for good or for bad, no matter for what happens forward, you feel like it was a good fight.
Yeah, I do. I was worried at first that it was kind of starting to get a little out of hand, but I think I did all right. I think I made some good moves.
I think the fact that you have the combined hit points of both things right now is pretty tough. And now, looking at the balance of the scales, I think it could go either way. And I think they have to push really hard to make a difference in defeating you. So, what do you think?
I think we're gonna need the full crew. We're just Tom and William at the moment.
I think you need Cranston and Maya.
Fighting the thing, yeah, because I'm on the other side fighting all the
You
Death Knights
aggroed
and
every
zombies.
single
yeah.
Right.
creature, yeah.
So now with the combined hit points that he's got, essentially bumping up.
Yeah, we need everybody, and it's not going to be easy.
Right.
It's
Right.
definitely, like you said, it could go either way still. It feels
Yeah.
like, even what we battled so far, it was, there wasn't a clear winner yet.
I felt like it was
it's not
it looked.
it's not really leaning one way or the other.
It
feels
seemed like we were doing good at first,
You,
and then
you,
gradually I got
I-
more negative as the night went on.
I think now he has an advantage.
Yeah.
I want to say it's
Probably.
I want to say it's 65-35
Mm,
in your favor.
yeah, I could see
Pretty
that.
good. It's almost like 2-1.
Yeah.
At least 60-40.
It's all about if players don't drop, because as always in these situations,
Yeah.
especially for player versus player or things like that, or even PvE too when you fight in the game. But when the first player drops, then the next one doesn't take us that long. It's just it's slippery slope,
Yeah.
and then it just goes to hell really quickly. So it's just about keeping people. But you have some tough people. The Carlinger is powerful,
And the loot.
Right.
and the loot
Still
is
got some
powerful.
guys.
So even if you took out the party and you have them two left, I would be like, I don't know, bro. It's
I
still
know.
rough.
Yeah.
So that's why with them armed to the teeth with everything you built them, and them there, I think it's tough. And this is besides the players who Rob is doing a tremendous job keeping everybody off everybody. That's huge that he did that. And we're about to see the effects of that. And then you have people like William and like Tom. They're just like their job is to survive, So Maya and Cranston will make the difference.
I know.
If they're on the episode, it will be very different. So, but you,
Hopefully.
depending on your decisions too, it's not just like you clawing away and fighting Tom or fighting someone else. It's if you're clever, if you're like the slickest you can be, I don't see why you can't win. But you have to be. You got to be on it. You got to come up with something that people are like, oh no.
Yeah, I got to make some decisions.
Yeah. So,
What do you think? What do you think I should do?
You get any advice from me?
Seriously.
Hutch is supposed to be, I don't know. He thought he was More than a blacksmith.
Here we go.
Here's the chance for him to prove it. Let's see. What does Caddick know?
We should. You know what we could do right now? We could do the thing you talked about today.
With
We could do that. I don't, how?
and then everyone else next week.
Yeah, you could do that.
I don't know what you're looking at me because I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I
He's looking
know,
at
I
me
know.
like
it's
I
good.
know.
It's good in one way because everyone's not here, so you can just talk to them, and I could make it a part of the next episode.
Do we want to do any show stuff right now? Seems,
You wouldn't
It's
have. You
a
wouldn't have.
nice-
To, you wouldn't have to roll anything, and it kind of serves the purpose of what Dan wants to do. Want to do it?
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna make this happen.
Oh man,
Brian McHale, I see Escape the Dungeon up there. Yes,
doing a thing.
we're gonna play that. Oh, what did he say? Hold on. Next campaign is like the Lightfall show you talked about last year. It's Lightfall is so different. So Lightfall, before we do this, Lightfall is like we filmed all of Lightfall, and it's the most work we've done. Like we're dressed to the nines in all these costumes.
Very cinematic.
Yes, it's cinematic. We filmed like a full, probably like a 20-hour day of all these scenes. We probably did about 20-something hours of tabletop, which I edited down to maybe, I don't know what it is now. Maybe it's only 3 or 4 hours. And we have to film the scenes left. And it's a different story, and it takes place on Earth. So very different from the 100 Years Future in Andaria, like a Stellar Punk kind of feel. But yeah, Lightfall is about technology. It is a very different story, and it uses a very different quick system too, which actually worked very well for the show because we don't want to get caught up in people rolling. We just want to facilitate the actions. So they're very different. That came from Charles just talking about it. Okay, so we're gonna do I don't know,
Oh man,
a sidecar episode.
this is
Just name that. Just what it came up with.
Sidecar.
Sidecar. Who drive car? Bear drive car. Okay, guys, we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna run it like an episode,
Okay.
and away we go.
Let me be honest with you, sir. I'm from another timeline. This plane is not real.
What makes that really funny is that it is a fade out on the end, so it sounds like he's being pulled away. Like, this plane is not real. That's what makes it funnier. What's up? Welcome to Knights of Andar. This is a mini episode. We're just going to film a segment for next week because it kind of works out. That I just realized a few moments ago. So last episode, we saw everyone fight Hutch as a necromancer. That battle was epic. It was definitely, absolutely one of my favorite battles now on the show. Next to the Soma battle and next to the Kanos battle, which was a lot of fun. Trying to think of other fights that were really good, but those stand on my mind. The gladiator battles were a lot of fun to watch with you fighting everybody in the arena. You fought Headley, your half giant friend.
That's right.
You fought the king. What's his name? The king is just a story for the Red Knight King. I can't think-
King?
I can't think of his name. Who's the paladin? Who's just in the story with you? I just can't think of his name right now because I want to think of it and I can't. Who is the king of the Red City that you kind of betrayed?
Oh, Queen Frigg?
And
King?
Argon.
Argon.
Argon. I just couldn't because I needed it,
That's
and my
it.
brain wouldn't produce it. You fought King Argon. You fought your friend Headley, and then you fought Thistle. So those are
Right.
all cool fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just edited the episode recently where Quirtle comes in with the sword
That was
and gives,
good.
gives it to that one.
Yeah.
So, so last week that battling took place, and at the very end of it, you kind of a Megazord formed into the heart, and you created like this huge creature out of it. Tom is in the blood below the surface with you there, and he has just turned into his diamond form. He has that form for 10 rounds only. You have the combined hit points of the heart and yourself, and everyone wants to know who's going to win. So in this moment, you take an action that is basically like you're reaching out psychically. So if you want to take it from there, you can. I'll put on some music for us.
All right. So I'm under the water, under the blood. I lock up with Cole. And as we're about to lock up, I look up out of the water, I look up out of the blood, and my piercing, purple, glowing eyes look up to the surface, and I lock eyes with Sir William.
Okay, so all of a sudden, now this happens in a flash of a moment. It's like 2 seconds of your round. You're standing in like an arid wasteland of lightning in the distance, clouds, purple light, and you see a form of whatever form you want to show. You can decide when you go. And you just both of you are just standing there alone in this vast void.
Sir William,
Hutch.
we never got along very well, did we?
Although I suppose I shouldn't call you that anymore. What do you want to be called? Do you have a new title?
I do.
Yes. What would you like to be called?
No longer blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
I am now Hutch, the unliving.
Ah, Hutch the Unliving. Okay, that fits. That fits. You certainly, yeah, didn't keep your looks. We'll say that.
Oh. Oh, man.
You knights. Always you and your titles,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
And you, always with your, what, jealousy? Maybe that's what it was. All this time.
Listen, I don't like you, and you don't like me. So I'll cut right to the chase. You live to serve. You're not?
I do.
I come to you today with an offer, with an opportunity. And I should let you know that everyone in the party will receive a similar offer. But I come to you first. My offer to you is simple. Whom do you serve, Sir William?
Well, King Thawen has entrusted me with his blade. And he's who I'm serving at this point. Oh, did you expect me to say you?
No,
Okay.
no. Sir William, we've known each other for a long time now. You answer to one man, and one man only. You cannot fool me. That man lies on the ground. That man lies close to death. That man lies surrounded by dozens of my minions who will rip him limb from limb. Kadok is about to die.
You get a glimmer of Kadok just fighting off all these creatures around him, and he's surrounded by 20 of them, and he's just trying to keep them at bay and stay alive.
I give to you the opportunity to fulfill your oaths to Kadok.
Trade my life for his? Is that what you're offering?
In a way,
Really?
really. You stay.
Is that it?
You stay here with me in this realm as my prisoner. And I promise you, regardless of who wins this battle, I will spare your Lord Commander's life. And he will return to his world without you and without the rest of your companions.
You're saying he's going to return. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Him and only him. Think long.
You
And
want us? You're expecting all of us to sacrifice ourselves for him?
No.
So only one is all you need?
All I need?
Or request? Require? It's just me you want?
Sir William, my offer to you is to you and to you alone.
Well, a moment ago you were saying you were making offers similar to everyone.
The offers
Didn't
that
you
I
say
make
that?
to your companions are of none of your concern.
Okay.
I have a custom offer to everyone else. Your offer is to save Caddock and fulfill your oath, or let him die. My patience with you is wearing thin. Make your decision, or I will kill you, and I will kill your Lord Commander. And you will watch him suffer. And you will die knowing that you failed as a knight.
I don't think I'm going to be making any deals with somebody I can't trust. Especially somebody who's been overtaken by evil. Corrupted. It's a shame we lost you. But that's what's happened.
And you've made your decision.
No deal.
Again. You will watch Caddock die. You will watch him suffer.
Says you.
And you will die knowing that you could have prevented it. And you will die knowing that you failed to fulfill your oaths to Lord Caddock, to his father, and to every single citizen of Andaria.
You're back in the battlefield. The vision is ended.
My eyes start to search out of the water again.
You find Lord Caddock. You've already spotted. Caddock, you appear standing probably about 50 feet away from this hybrid version of the Necromancer and Hutch, and there's an arid, dry wasteland, lightning in the sky, clouds, purple light, endlessness.
Ah, I didn't think you'd have the courage to face me one-on-one. Let us finish this here.
Caddock, there will be no need for weapons. Nor do your weapons have any use where we are right now.
So why are we here?
I bring you here to give you something. Something you've searched for all your life. Something that always seems to slip away from you. Something you never, ever truly had a firm grasp on.
Indeed. This be?
Come to you with an offer, Caddock. Come to you with this offer, making sure that you have the knowledge that you drove me to this. If there is one word to describe your career as a knight, Caddock, what would that be?
One word. I hope it's honorable.
Failure.
I fear you're probably right.
Did you fail your father, Kadok? Is your father now a foul beast?
Indeed.
Did you fail your brother? Did you leave him to be fed upon, not only in your timeline, but in every single existence where you had the opportunity to correct the error that you made?
I did. I went back and allowed that to happen. Yes.
Have you allowed the eradication of timeline after timeline and allowing the history of trillions of people to be erased at the snap of a finger?
Now,
Have you utterly and abjectly failed everyone whom you swore to protect, Kadok? The answer is yes.
so far perhaps, and it's not over yet. You can still be defeated.
Look at me. If you can bear to bear witness to what I've become, I am the physical manifestation of all your failures, Kadok.
Ha! Nothing. You are nothing but a manifestation of all of Hutch's envy and pettiness. Now corrupted by the foul necromancer.
Corrupted by you. But I come to you with an offer, Kadok. As I said, I give you the one thing that no one else can offer you. Redemption.
You could offer me redemption. I hardly think so.
What if I could give you the opportunity to perform your knightly duties on a scale that no knight has ever done before? What if I offered you the opportunity to protect, to spare the life of everyone who exists in your world? All you would need to do is stay here in my world with me as my eternal and infinite prisoner. You will look upon me every single day for the rest of eternity, knowing that I am your superior. And all you would achieve is your redemption, knowing that you saved everyone in Andaria.
It is a tempting offer, but you really think I'm going to trust you? You'll just let everyone go about their lives as they were? You'll be content with that, just to pass the time with me?
I will rule an entire realm here,
Ah.
Kadok. This world is mine, and I will rebuild it in my image.
What happens to everyone else? I thought timelines were destroyed. Is there anything left other than this world?
Of course there is. What do you plan on going back to if you destroy me?
I have no plans after I destroy you. I have not thought that far ahead. So, I just say very well, and everyone goes back to the world they came from. You stay here with me and who? Who else?
That's none of your concern, Kadok.
I don't understand. Does everyone else in this world leave? Where do they get to go?
Everyone else in this world is under my control. The world that you came from will be corrupted and destroyed. If you agree to stay with me, you will be sparing the lives of billions. And you will finally be fulfilling the oaths that you swore to those people, Kadok. And you will finally be able to look in the mirror and call yourself a knight.
I would do it if only I thought I could trust you, but all that matters is the safety of my companions. No, whatever you could consider redemption, I assure you it holds no interest to me. But no, I think no matter what happens, you will seek dominion over every soul in this universe if it's in your power. And I seek to end you today. I refuse your offer.
Once again, you choose your own ego over the people you swore to protect. Kadok, your blood will fuel my forge, and you will die!
You go back to the regular existence. Nearby, you see Kadok's father, the Lute, and Carl Linger. Or you can hold here if you want to just not talk to them and talk to the other players.
Yeah, we hold here.
I'm kind of sad. I want to see talk to Carl Linger.
I don't know what motivates Carl Linger.
He might accept. He might accept for real.
Well, depending on the offer.
You want to talk to him?
No.
I feel like any conversing you do with Carl Linger will ruin all reputation you have as like a tough guy. You're gonna come out of it looking stupid. Don't do.
That's a challenge.
That's just a personal
Wow.
advice to you.
Wow.
I have to
Right?
prep for
Nobody
that.
comes out of conversations with Carl Linger looking good.
You're not wrong.
Right? I feel like he unsettles everybody.
Carl Linger is a
man.
force that this world has not seen before.
Wow. That was
Okay.
heavy.
Okay, we return to what it is. The battle that will come, and the other people that you'll have to talk to. So it'll be Cole, Kraston, and Maya if they're here, and that'll be exciting to see. I thought he almost
I thought
almost
he was
went.
going to go for
He
it.
just
You needed to give them some sort of thing to say, like, let them trust you because they both wanted to say yes to you, but also in another comment I have is it feels like the necromancer's just so lonely. It's all his deals like I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything you want. Everybody can live.
Stay here and be
Just-
my prisoner.
Just stay with me. That was just the same deal almost. Like
I mean, these two were very,
Similar,
very
yeah,
similar.
you just
Yeah.
just
They
wanted
were.
to just be
Which
my friend,
made
hang out
sense.
with me.
Yeah.
Just hang
yeah,
out
the
with me.
desperation, the Hutch desperation. It's already seeping,
Oh,
it's already seeping into the necromancer.
Oh man.
The necromancer made a big
Get in
mistake.
there.
They seem like very, very blasé for getting these, like, like, no, I don't, no, I don't think I'll do
He's
that.
blasé?
Both of them, I thought.
He came close. He was gonna. If you would have gave him a way that
I
he
mean-
could say like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna happen. I'm not gonna lose my life."
Yeah, Kadok just couldn't risk being
If
just
you
a
offered-
chump and giving up to you, and you just, he just can't.
If
have
you
that.
offered me his deal, I might have took it. Because like the enticement of enticing William with saving billions of lives.
Right, you only
Like,
offered one life.
That right.
Yeah.
You
It's not
really
much.
offered him to save one for one.
Well, like I said,
which was smart. I mean, you had to make interesting choices there as far as like the deal that you were gonna offer. But like that would probably have been more enticing to William. Just,
yeah. I mean, there's going to be, like, slight differences to what I'm offering everyone,
Yeah.
but, like, I kind of just was like, hey, what's going to make everybody tick?
No, I think it was great.
So I
Like,
thought it was like,
yeah, I
like-
think your choices were really good. It just like
I think you did as good as you could do.
Yeah.
You know, if you could solve that last problem, I think you would have gotten one or two of them.
I
the
think.
trust thing a little bit because you're so evil.
Right.
Well, yeah. I
Obviously.
mean, like I think maybe I could get somebody next week. The best chance I think I had is 50-50 with any one person, and I definitely
I think Craston is your best
I think
chance.
all three are
Ooh,
suspect.
the wild
I don't
card.
think so.
All three are
Liam's,
trouble.
Liam's up for like.
Yeah, Liam's the
Whatever.
wild
He's
card.
the wild
That's a good
card,
point.
man. Wild card.
Yeah, all you gotta do is give him something that's rock solid, and he'll jump in it.
I just wa-
However, Craston is like singularly focused on his family, and he's already achieved like that's what's waiting for me back there.
I'm
That would be a part of his conditions. for
also
sure.
yeah.
call me crazy, but I'm a little worried about Tom/Cole because he's made some comments about Caddick, suggesting like Caddick hasn't done a great job, almost like siding with Hutch. I feel in the whole Caddick
Yeah.
Hutch thing. Very
Yeah.
strange. Very strange. So
Wait, you're saying? Are you talking about with what side? What are you talking about?
what side?
What are you talking about?
Like-
side?
like
with-
the-
Like that Caddick
like-
somehow is responsible for all of this. I'm very much getting that sense from Cole and Tom.
Yes.
And you know, okay, so him and the Necromancer and Hutch, they can all just go ahead and solve everything without Lord Commander screwing everything up. I think that's what they're gonna come.
Wait, why
the-
would you be responsible for this?
Well,
That's what he says.
Well, that's what he was
Caddick
saying.
drove Hutch to the
Hutch
Necromancer.
was saying, just said that to him
what-
about
no,
how
yeah,
like.
But that's an evil person telling you that.
No,
Right,
Tom
that's
agrees.
what I'm saying.
Tom agrees.
Yes,
Oh, Tom
to a certain
agrees.
extent,
Yes.
because like
They're
if
buying
you
into
look
all
at
this poor Hutch
everything,
crap.
if you look
They
at,
are a little
it's
bit.
not poor, but if you look at everything that built up to like the moment of Hutch becoming the Necromancer, it was like our inability to connect with each other, our
Right. No,
inability
you're not
as
wrong.
party members to empathize with each other at all, and
Like
like
he's not wrong. I do agree. Yeah, in
Right.
general.
So, like, Cole, however, is a unique member of the party in that he has gone out of his way to try to, like, empathize with other members of the party. So when he says, like, oh, hey, well, yeah, obviously, like, Caddick drove.
I mean, listen, Lord Commander Caddick knows what it's like to be a member of a party at all levels, so he can empathize.
But not in the way that you're
So
thinking.
I can
though.
assure you that
He's not-
everything he
not
was doing was the
empathizing-
most empathetic way it could be done.
not empathize with the idea of being the member of a party. It's being the member of a party while being able to empathize with another human being or another member of your party, like person to person.
I think about how nice I was to Hutch when he was a little kid. But that was the different Hutch.
But again, like it's not.
That's one of Dan's biggest complaints. He feels like that
That's
you
the
treat
first time
him
you've acknowledged
right.
that.
It's the first time you've ever acknowledged that it's a different Hutch because he feels like you're treating him like the other Hutch, but it's not the same person.
Oh, other Hutch he was true blue, that one. Other Hutch was here,
Oh,
we'd have no
man.
problems.
No,
Necromancer,
stop it.
he probably would have defeated the Necromancer himself
Stop it. You
without
know,
our help.
Nah, I disagree.
All right, this other timeline, I don't know what happened. So
I don't think so.
I'm sorry, whoever interfered with the other timeline. I can't speak to that. All right, if I can assure Hutch, that's what I should have said. If you had grown up in my time, lived in my timeline, you would totally be on the Lord Caddick, you know.
Bandwagon.
Yeah,
train.
you'd be a little more loyal.
fan club.
I think we'd have a little more loyalty, a little more
Aw.
just common sense, right? Common sense says you trust the great Lord Commander, all right, and not a blacksmith and some detective guy who both act like they know better and undermining my leadership every step of the way, second guessing my decisions.
No one second guessed Caddick more than Caddick himself.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that part because you would always say like, "We're gonna do this. We march into the valley." What do you all think?
Right. That's the most common.
No, but you say, "What do you all think?" And then you take everything in and you say, "We're marching to the valley," and that's it. It's done. But you would make a decision, and then you're kind of just praying everyone agrees with you.
I'm looking for feedback.
No, but you
Remember
ask for
when-
feedback first.
Remember when
I
you
know
went,
that's not the way I do it. I flip it around. Listen, I have style. I love that. This is again like, okay,
Caddick's got
who's
style.
Lord Commander here? Everyone told me like, no, this is how you're supposed to do it.
It's
I
fine.
would have been better off having. I hate to say it, but
Here we go.
Oh, I'm so
Say it.
excited.
Say it.
I'm so excited.
Let it out, Rob. Just say it.
probably just having Hutch and Cole executed early on in the party for insubordination.
Oh my God!
What?
I get it. I see what he's saying.
He's seeing
You
Wait,
say-
okay, already.
so-
Okay,
It needed-
okay.
I see what he's
Wait,
saying.
we need to
No.
stay there for a minute. When? When would that have happened?
That's the problem. It's such a the way they insidiously do it.
Back in like Arlight?
Probably like early in the Sunken City
In-
period.
Executed for what?
After the in between, outside of the Sunken City.
After Soma?
somewhere.
Around Soma?
Before, a little bit before Soma, when I was like suggesting a lot of ideas and not getting any positive feedback, and that seems extreme to start executing people. At least just
Maybe you
banish you
shoulda-
from banishing them from the party. Let's be.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like you
That was extreme, but I have.
I feel like you would have banished them from your.
There were
I'm planning at some point to
Yeah.
say to Cole. I shouldn't spoil the line.
No.
Okay.
no.
Save it.
Don't say it. Don't say
Save it. I get it. So Lord Commander Caddock feels like he wasn't respected enough.
I was just too nice.
basically.
Lord
He wasn't-
Commander Caddock.
He didn't have the.
The only person that really fought back against you were the couple of times we have when Hutch was speaking to you about the rod and things like that. But if it's your style to say we're going to do and then put it out there for everyone to give their opinion, and then they're saying different things to you, it's fine if you say, well, we're going to do this, but thank you for your input. But that's not what happens. You get upset by that.
No, they don't
And-
give me any feedback.
They would give you feedback.
Very kind of. They're very vague about. They just poo-poo my ideas and don't give you any good ideas. I get a lot of that.
Man,
A lot of complaining, not so
Tough.
much advice.
tough customer.
I've
Tough,
gu-
he's tough, man.
customer.
He's tough guy.
Right?
This guy's tough.
That's why I'm the legend.
Yep.
And
It is.
not all parties are. Maybe we should have had a few more.
Balanced?
Maybe we needed a few more nights in the party.
Oh.
At the outset.
Yeah,
See,
from the beginning.
This is my point, though. Like, I don't know how many times we could say it or how many times we could try to impress upon you that the only thing that matters to Caddock is station. And another, like, the emotional impact that events have on another human being have never meant anything to Caddock. This is your guy. William is your loyal squire, right?
Indeed he was.
What emotional connection do you have to William?
You remember in the first episode?
Here we go, taking you back.
We were in the bubbling pot
Okay.
hanging out. So obviously we're good friends, hanging out outside of work hours.
Like, what type of
We
interest have
share
you
an
ever
unspoken
shown in-
bond of the nightly
Look, right now
brotherhood.
we're
you
on a
know?
serious mission. So
It's like this-
William's not worried about his emotions and like that. I don't
Right.
feel like Caddock. is
Right. We
giving-
didn't need
focusing
emotions.
enough on
We're
me.
knights.
You know,
we don't
Caddock,
need emotions.
like-
we operate by by guides and
Yeah.
what's the right
I
thing
think
to
they're
do.
saying they're on the mission right now, so like there's no time for any of that.
Okay.
Right.
But
when
just-
when
but
we
also,
weren't on
like-
this mission, when was there ever time for Caddock to form some type of emotional connection with another person or with another character?
Oh, okay. What about his beloved wife and
What's
his son
the name?
Bertram?
And his son.
Did we ever bear witness to any kind of emotional
Well, no-
connection? on
well,
the
his
screen?
son actually it was kind of like he kind of like was a little bit he's stern with his son. He loves his son, but he's very stern with him. And I think there's a little bit of like a slight
Right. This
separation.
was
mean,
supposed
like,
to be the thing that helps him reestablish that. Now looks like I'm not going to be alive to do that. We'll see.
Okay. Now, let me ask you another question.
What about when I saved to try to chase down that guy who robbed Vigorish in that
I
arcade
think
city?
the knighthood, the knighthood.
You bring up that fact. That person.
I mean,
so
I
many
was trying so
times.
hard to get Vigorish back his stuff.
Who knew that would be so important?
I think the
and
knighthood is
Vigorish loved Caddock too. I
bigger
mean,
than-
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's
Vigorous
different.
like Caddock. They had a good relationship.
they sure did. Hutch needs to talk to Vigorish.
Do you
We need to
feel?
get them in a room to get he'll vouch for him.
Do you feel that? So this quest
And-
was every time you bring the. Go ahead. What do you want?
What's
to say?
his name? Minus Dash Mihawk. What's his
Dash.
name? Dash Mihawk is an actor, I think.
No, it's Dash. What was his last name?
Dash,
now?
this
I
Dash
forget.
Myhawk.
Dash Mihawk.
No.
My character was
Okay.
Dash.
Minus.
No,
Dash
no.
Rendar.
It was
Dash minus sign equals sign.
Yeah, I gotta.
Something like that. There she
No,
goes.
it's yeah. I gotta remember. I have it written down.
Do you think that it's the
It's a symbol. That's right.
so every time we face a
It's a good
necromancer when we did it back to Celestial War, the party was just like grueling with it, which is it's done purposefully, because that's just it is what it is. And now we've done it again, and it just rears its head. You're just lost in the darkness of fighting the necromancer. Do you feel that if you had a different quest with the same people, this would be different?
No,
So what
I
if
say no. I think it's I think it's the party. Like I feel like the group,
just didn't come together?
these characters. I feel like now that we're like talking out of game, like the way that everybody kind of set up their characters in their heads, I feel like was not so collaborative as. And like I feel like there's everybody has this like I feel like they're working off this
A lot
like
of
sort
ego
of
in the party.
strong like ego
yeah.
backstory thing that it's like almost preventing them from some of these emotional connections, like what you're talking about. Like I feel like something about these characters
Is it-
and
is it
us. I think it's the players somehow too. Like as far as like the way that we went into this campaign, into this story. And like making these characters, developing these characters, and starting to play them, all that. I think there's something about it that like everybody just has their like own kind of radically different like perspective.
Is it
and that-
because there's a hierarchy, like because you have him as Lord Commander, and then everyone has the
Knights-
relationship through him?
the Knights thing is definitely a part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole aspect of it. Having him as the commander, and the fact that like we're these Knights and these other people were not, and like. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it.
What about how does Ruby fit into this?
It's tough to say because she wasn't like with us a long time. So
She was with you a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
They
didn't
did,
feel like
yeah.
a long time.
I mean,
She was with you an entire season.
The first.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean that is kind of part of it too, because like there was that one point where we could have gone back and like pulled her out of like the rubble that was falling, right?
Right, and you guys didn't.
They did not. They pulled a bunch of other people out.
I think there's two opportunities you
uh,
had to kind of save her and bring her back, and both times you guys didn't choose to.
It was like we were almost certain that one of us was going to die. if
There
we
was some
suffered.
confusion in the vote, but I did vote to save her.
Is it perhaps that this? I mean, the stakes feel like it's like all or nothing. Like like we know how hard it's gonna be. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's on like
Maybe.
on the Celestial War adventure. You're like, wow, what's gonna happen? You think of the road ahead is more adventure with its hardships and whatever. But perhaps here you're just like looking at it as like it's only gonna get worse. So it's like every time you keep stealing from the moment to like give it to the future survival. And maybe that's what's going on with the story. So your every decision you make is kind of like you're not spending time even thinking about emotional attachments. Your character may have wanted that from him coming into it. That may be also underlying too. It's interesting because we take on these personalities, right? And like you perhaps you think you're not going deep with it, but you can't help but go deep with it. And perhaps you're stemming from the first episode where like you're seeking his. This part is obvious. You're seeking his approval, and you don't really get it. And probably that, while you know that's there, that actually might be like the huge crack in the foundation that is the problem. That's here we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big crack in the foundation is
He just wants his approval, and because he didn't get it, and after a while, it became more important to like you just won't give the approval, and he attacks you for that approval different ways, and it becomes more about the fact of why can't I get that approval 10 different ways, and then just drives him into madness.
And I think Caddick, I think Tom has said at times that I was like, I guess I was too harsh to Hutch at times, but he could just feel
Feel the what?
it was all very unseemly the way he's like so desperate for Caddick's approval. It's
he's
That's
not.
not
He's
how,
not though.
he was that's not how a warrior should behave. You know,
Wait
a
a second.
strong,
Wait a
a
second.
strong
Wait a second.
hero
Wait a second.
is not. It's not about, you know.
It's not.
You didn't
Ap-
feel
it's
like
not
he didn't, maybe you feel like it was
approval.
knightly, say, like more like
Unlikely on yes.
Well, before he was made a knight,
not,
though.
He's not looking for he's not looking for Caddock's approval. He's looking for Caddock's respect. And not Caddock's respect as, oh, you're a loyal, wonderful blacksmith. Hutch.
Why, Hutch? That's the most important thing of all.
See? That's dismissive. Because
Oh, Hutch.
after everything that Caddock and Hutch went through, they fought together side by side through the horrors of hell, basically. Caddock could never bring himself to say, wow, we're equals because of everything that we went through. Will you even say that about William at this point? I don't think Caddock would.
I mean, no, you know,
Okay.
none can match William's skill with a blade. I'll give him that. Look,
give him that. That's great.
look. We come from a stratified society where
Okay.
we're not equals. Okay, I
Okay.
am the Lord Commander.
Do you
Yeah,
think
see, it's
understood?
that's kind of what I was saying.
Do you think that what this party went through together is significant enough to have someone's worldview change in that aspect?
I guess not.
That's the answer.
Right.
go.
Whereas Hutch's worldview,
Whereas Hutch's worldview is
he fell
if
into
I, if
evil
I,
madness.
changed.
All
Yeah,
I was
changed
just like,
big
nah,
time.
I still think I'm in charge.
yes, like
I'm the bad, and I'm the
Like,
bad guy.
Still the Lord Commander.
you're like Caddock is basically saying, Hutch, you're foolish to think that fighting monsters and dedicating our lives to ridding the universe of this horrible, horrible presence is not enough for me to change what I think of you. And that's where Hutch, one, is insulted and takes it personally, but two, like, as just as a professional, as a knight, like, this is Hutch from a different timeline. So this is like a very, very much more accomplished Hutch.
See, that's-
so as a professional, this is a guy who's coming in who's like, you know, the old Hutch was here, new Hutch is here.
See, that's the thing. Old Hutch was up here. This is where old Hutch was.
But
That's what
but-
new Hutch doesn't
Do you really
understand.
do you
But
really
that's
believe
what
that though,
also
or are you
gets
falling
into it.
back on that card? Do you
No,
really
no,
believe it?
I'm not. I believe that when it
Really?
comes to yeah, when it comes to someone's spirit and honor, Caddock put Hutch right at the top of where it goes.
It's
Really?
tricky to say
Even
that,
though I'm
though.
still the Lord Commander and obviously boss him around,
Surprised.
It's tricky.
Obviously, I'm his boss.
It's
like I have
tricky-
no trouble reconciling those two facts.
It's tricky to say that though, because like this story, this arc of this relationship has started right from the very beginning, from the first episode, and it's only gotten progressive, right? So it's difficult to say that that's really how you felt about the old Hutch, because when the new Hutch was here, it kind of just kept going. And I remember we even thought that, oh, that's going to get rid of the old Hutch feeling, because now this is a more capable, equal fighting Hutch.
And it didn't.
But it didn't. So that's why it's hard to say.
The old Hutch got along. You know, you go along, go
Wait a
along to
second.
get along.
Do we
And new
remember?
Hutch had to have some sort of problem now. He had
Wait,
to
whoa.
challenge.
We remember those early episodes, Hutch, and we remember how eagerly Hutch was trying to gain your approval, right?
Right.
When new Hutch came along and didn't give you that same type of ego boost,
Oh yeah,
that's when
that
Caddock had
widened
a
the
problem
gap.
with it.
Probably that widened the gap.
Yes.
Because
Like now, Hutch
Made
is
it
coming in
worse.
I'm not gonna like laugh at this guy's jokes. I'm not gonna like hang on every word he says. I'm not gonna like.
But
you know,
old Hutch
like,
didn't do that.
I'm not
Old
gonna-
Hutch.
Well, he did do that.
Oh, Hutch would do
remember
that.
in Souls,
But
at the
old
very
Hutch
beginning?
found it all funny. He wasn't laughing at the jokes because
Remember Souls?
I'm the Lord Commander. It was genuine. I could see it in his eyes.
Remember,
All right,
remember
when he was
Souls
laughing.
when you guys were outside getting ready to attack, and Hutch had the conversation with you, and you were like, "It's not really your station." Whether you said this or not, is what you meant, and you said it after. It's not really your station to worry about me. I'm a Lord Commander. You are a blacksmith, and you turn to us, say like, you're treating me like we're equals here, and you kind of need to not do that. But yeah, I understand. He's eager and he's excited.
Mm.
Yeah.
So and that's why when you say it's hard, that like the old Hutch, you never had that. You've never shown that. There's no evidence of that.
I believe Hutch. We also used to hang out at the Bubbling Pot movie.
But you're talking, even if that
This
was
is all canon.
no,
No.
he may no.
You may have been close, but it's
He was-
there's
yeah, he-
still-
he
the
was-
way that you kind of
you know-
perceive him was still like that.
He was a kid,
know,
a kid to
like-
you, and that we know that's how it
Right.
started. So if that was in a bubbling pot, which was before, then he was a kid to you, and that's what it was, and
Right.
that's where it started. But I don't think that there's anything that shows evidence to say that the old Hutch was here and this Hutch is no good. It just seemed like
Yeah.
it got worse, and it got widened. I think by exactly what Dan said when he
Hutch is worse.
he didn't praise you, or didn't not like he was like praising you, but like he didn't seek your attention as much or seek your approval as much,
yeah.
or if any at all.
Doesn't bother me.
He
me.
knows. He knows that's the issue.
Yeah, we know.
That's the issue. The issue is that it didn't bother you. That's what we're talking
That's
about.
the problem.
Um,
Destroy the universe, you know.
So what if Caddick? You want to say something? Good.
well, yeah, it's just Hutch is overreacting to all this.
He's overreacting.
Like he's the necromancer, but it's like so Caddick's fault, really. That's the kind of the general vibe in all of this. It's like
That's
Caddick's
pretty
Yeah.
rich, right? That's rich.
Oh boy,
rich.
Listen,
what days we live in?
Listen,
where Caddick is the
Right?
is to
Villains-
blame for the necromancer
How
'cause
about
he was
that?
mean to Hutch.
villains aren't just born villains, okay? Villains become villains. Villains are forged, if you will. Okay?
Right. Live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Poor Caddick. He was never. I was sitting comfortably, and Cole came and badgered me into coming on this quest to begin with. But she,
If Caddick could go back to the moment, would you deny this quest?
clearly, I would have to. It seems like it's all gone terribly.
Yeah, I think that'd be smart.
And yeah, can we address that too? Like,
Can I go back and undo everything I've done? Yes.
Yes,
I'll
yes,
do
I'll
that.
do that. I'll take that card. Yes. I'll undo everything.
but like, do you agree with what the necromancer told you? That you failed your father, you failed Hex in multiple realities, left him to be devoured by vampires.
No, I think Caddick's finally learning to take it easy. Take it easy on himself a little bit. This is where Caddick's gone. I don't know if anyone's noticing this storyline. It's been a little more under the radar, subtextual. But Caddick's, new Caddick's taking it easy on himself a little bit. He's not going to allow himself to be the bad guy for every mishap in the world here. So,
That's true. I actually, now that you mention it, I think he's been less, let's say, drab, I guess.
yeah, right. Less drab.
So does that affect his
Caddick,
his
less
outlook on?
drab.
Now the other side of this, in Rob's defense, is who else has a problem with Rob? It's really just Hutch.
Well, does William have a problem with Caddick?
I don't think so.
No, of course not, because William is the loyal.
He walked me right through that door. I walked in. No, I don't think he does. He does, of course.
Okay, I
William
have to talk to for myself. That's
William
fine.
stays in line with what Caddick thinks. Well, like, how does William feel about all this?
Yeah, what is your like respect level for Caddick? Which you're gonna say high, but
It's pretty high, but he's certainly done things over the years that, made me question.
but that doesn't affect how you feel about him.
Not in a major way.
Yeah, so more like
No.
you feel bad for him, or like you want to help him, or like that. But it's not
Yeah.
like
And he knows Caddick's not perfect. He's seen his flaws, but
Oh,
you
very
know,
well. Yeah,
how do you see him as a leader?
not great.
What about before in backstory?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So you feel like that? Why wasn't he coming through here? What happened?
It's tough to say, but I
party.
just feel like
Was he rusty? Was this challenge simply too big?
it's tough to say. I feel like there may have been. I feel like there was time between sort of like our old adventures and this
Yeah,
adventures,
Yeah, there was.
and I feel like during that time, their relationship kind of changed because he went from being his squire
Right.
and
It's like half friend, half mentor.
right, and then we became like again more like sort of brothers in this knighthood. He was the Lord Commander, but we're more on more equal levels, say, as far as our interaction, and our status, our rank. So yeah, he's not. He feels like Caddick went through some stuff, or just I don't know, something happened to him, along the way that has, I guess, prevented him from becoming the great leader that he could have been.
It's interesting.
You
Now,
know?
I'm going to stay on the side of the coin. I'm going to stay a Rob side here. What did Caddick do? Not emotional things, right? His job was to lead the Knights of Andar, right? Now, can you name any failures that Caddick had? And not things done to him that are out of his control, but can you name military, tactical, or decisive failures that Caddick made?
As a military leader,
Yeah.
Not sure.
do we want to count the sacking of the Sunken City? Or the Sunken Kingdom?
It wasn't that bad.
Who led that assault? Who was under command of that assault? Was that
That was after we destroyed Soma, right?
Yeah, because you just went back in. That was a tactical misstep.
Oh,
But
God.
the
Okay,
the
yeah. I mean,
tactical
we also
misstep
those
could
nights.
also be destroying Soma in the first place and
But
leaving it open to be.
But I think that wasn't this Caddick. That was the other Caddick.
Oh,
I let him get it.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for anything that guy did. Don't forget.
How convenient.
This Caddick begins. Yeah, right. That Caddick was my real Caddick was out of it for a while.
So
too.
this Caddick,
Right?
this Caddick, whatever he did in season 1, got you into the shadow world, and was rough around the edges dealing with all the people. Remember the circus, which might be my favorite episode.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys were trying to talk to the blazing pyro,
Yes, the guy who got him arrested.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But when you came here, then he got
See,
tainted by the necromancer, but he was just dealing with that, and then Paladin Caddick took over, right? And that brought you in pretty much throughout season 2 to Soma, and then he came back, and then now he's been kind of going with the flow. And the Citadel, he wasn't responsible at all; he wasn't even a part of it. So, if you feel like you have something less than a leader, it's interesting that that not everyone, but you guys feel that way, because where was his failures?
where were his victories, though, too? I mean,
Ah.
what has he done? What have you done for me lately?
That's
What have you-
interesting.
What have you
Okay.
done for me lately? You know,
defeating
I mean, great
Soma.
leaders are known.
Hello.
Look, great leaders are known for winning battles, not necessarily losing them. I'm sure.
Caddick's
I'm
mighty
sure there's,
Soma will be
there's some
sung for
epic losses,
ages.
but
You did smite, so both Caddicks smited Soma
that
together.
was Caddick alone.
Oh, no, it was both Caddicks.
Well, sort of.
Wormwedge, remember?
Yeah,
you
it was
Wormwedge
Caddick.
with
Only
yourself.
Caddick did it.
yeah.
Right. It was a
Two
Caddicks.
Caddicks technically.
Combined.
But Caddick. It was a Caddick job.
So what? So name your victories.
So
He puts one down. Okay, Soma, I just said that.
the guys, who did we fight in season 1? Well, we were doing.
You were tracking down the killer was the first part. It was. I told you
We
it was
didn't do a
it was
lot
like
of
the
fighting.
Sherlockian Holmes trying to follow the
the carpet.
mystery.
Right, we got the blazing pyro, and they killed him. Oh, I jumped into the portal. Remember
You did jump to the portal.
what happened on that side? I'm pretty sure.
You
I
went
did.
to see. You found your brother, and your father stayed your hand to fight your brother, saying that like he's here. But
Oh, I was supposed to
overseeing
kill.
him.
Was that when I was supposed to kill Hex?
You could have killed Hex. There.
Everyone expected me to kill him then, and I.
Hex was kind of vulnerable there, but you didn't fight because your father kind of stopped
Okay,
you.
so that was maybe a tactical mistake.
Well, it could have gone either way. Who knows?
Right, I could have died.
Could've
Not that I would have been. That's fine if I die in combat.
That's right. Very
So
honorable and
I-
noble.
That's right.
I think
I'm
it's
scared.
I think it's really, really tough to say because, again, Season 2, he was out of commission. Season 1 was getting you guys pretty much into the Shadow
It's
Realm.
tricky to say. It's
And Season 3, he absolutely was not. He was literally sleeping at the time, recovering. when all this stuff happened with Citadel, and you were the one who became the bad guy, but but because of how Caddock treated you. So it's a weird web of I can't even out of game it to figure out why people feel that way.
People feel what way?
Like he just
The
says,
way
like,
that they do.
why does he think he's a great leader?
Oh,
It's hard to say.
Like, but it's a good point. He's saying, well, where's your victories? Well, if they win, it's almost like this victory is like if you win,
It's his.
yes,
yeah.
exactly. If you win, it goes down as like
Definitely.
it doesn't matter if the road was
No,
crooked
it
as
matters
hell
Yeah.
because
he was the Lord
won.
Commander, and he came out.
It'll
on
be
top.
his exploit. He brought it
Yes.
into. He was like the guy. So
I hate to bring this conversation to an end, but should we run Escape the Dungeon? Getting late.
I was actually gonna stop right
late.
after this.
Oh, okay. Oh, the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I didn't expect us
We've-
to
we've
have,
done well.
to have
We've
a dungeon talk.
Had a great talk here.
We did.
Yeah,
have a
we
dungeon.
did.
Great.
We had a pre-show dungeon, in-show dungeon talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody wants to say?
How about anybody watching?
Richard,
Yeah.
what?
Fans?
Let's see.
Any comments?
Any comments?
There's a load of comments here.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
Let's see.
we've been neglecting them.
We're going back a little bit. I have suggested for Dan to get Liam, use his family. For Tom, I think could turn. All you need is to offer him the one thing he needs, saving Hutch through self-sacrifice.
I have my idea. I know exactly what I'm going to offer Tom. I know exactly what I'm going to offer Maya. As far as Craston goes, I'll have to think of something.
Richard Wild says, that's what the issue. Lord Caddock just doesn't know what Hutch went through with Paladin Caddock. He never once asked what he has been through.
Yeah, I mean, Caddock just doesn't want to form a connection with anybody. I think that's a good point, Richard.
Yeah, but I mean,
Form a
given
connect. What am I
given the
supposed to do?
place and the time, though.
Hi, I know we're
Here we
hunting
are
down
in this
necromancer.
alternate shadow realm with people like that we don't even
Hutch,
know.
Why don't
and
you
it's
and
like,
I
oh,
break off
let's
from
let's
the
get
group?
to know each other
We'll take a
now.
fishing trip, and we can go over.
Do you know that if you did do a fishing trip, it probably would have solved everything? There'd be no necromancer right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
you
that's
act
the
like
problem.
it's,
That
well,
we
hey.
needed a
Right.
fishing trip. Shows you that
Right.
it was a lost cause to begin
Yeah,
with. Well, it's a fishing trip, then it's a,
You want to
hunting trip.
Why
Then
don't
it's
you-
a sea
Emotional
cruise.
support animals.
He'll never be happy.
Well, I want to see 1 minute of the fishing trip that could have been in the alternate timeline that was destroyed. Let's see it. You guys were on the coast of Sunken City, and you had some time, and perhaps you fished.
Okay, so the lead into this was Caddock. I imagine Caddock approaches Hutch and he says,
Well, no, don't speak for him. Let him do it.
"Well, no,
so
this is the
so this is the moment when I asked him.
prequel to
I have
the
to
fishing
ask-
trip."
I have to ask him if he wants to go fishing with me.
Okay, go ahead. So you're
He
in
wants
Sunken
to see. No,
So
he
we're
wants
gonna
to see what Dan has.
So this
to
is in
say.
Sunken City. After the defeat. Oh, it's a way down to Sunken City when you guys are on the shoreline in another timeline. And whatever you want to say to approach him, this is you taking the moment now. Let's see if this would have changed anything for us. And then we're going to end the show on this. Today's show.
Okay.
Quite the battle, Hutch.
It was a difficult battle.
Indeed. Well, you handled yourself well. Good to see that even in a different timeline, you can be counted on.
Yes, Caddock.
Well, come to think of it, I feel as though you're a Hutch, I don't know you really at all. We've had different paths, haven't we?
That's true, Caddock. I'm not very familiar with you, and I feel as if we could get to know each other a little bit better.
Well, as it's going to take some time for us to get things settled here at the Sunken City, perhaps we ought do some fishing.
You
Allow the others to continue to rebuild after the battle.
You and me.
Sure, why not? We have earned some respite, have we not?
Maybe we have, Caddock. Sure, let's grab a boat and head out onto the sea.
Wonderful.
Okay, you guys go into a small little dinghy. You head out into the sea, maybe like a couple hundred feet. You're out there. You got your fishing poles out. Does this feel like he's going to murder him? This feels like a hit.
So, Hutch. Still a big fan of rock tossing and hoop rolling.
Hoop rolling.
So, having people roll hoops and then you try and throw the rocks to them. Rock tossing and hoop rolling.
Maybe in my youth, Carrick. I've accomplished a lot since then. I do a lot more than just hoop rolling these days.
Well, yes, of course. I know you always want to polish off an ale as well.
Polish off an ale.
Yes. Who can forget all those days at the bubbling pot?
Carrick, I'm assuming that you've accomplished a lot in your days as Lord Commander. Huh?
Well, indeed, there have been battles. Many battles along the way. Marches. And many a camp assembled and dismantled.
You fought bravely, I'm sure, alongside your father, alongside your brother
Indeed.
in earlier times.
Yes. That's, of course, the other Hutch was there with me. Tending to my weapons. Ah, but good in a pinch as well. Why, never have I seen a hammer so wielded in battle.
You wielded a hammer as well, huh?
Well, on occasion, when he had to.
Any stories with the old Hutch that you care to share?
Why, yes, of course. I remember we were chasing the goblin bandit of Evertrough. And Hutch, well, we'd camped out for the night. Hutch had prepared some food for everyone, and, well, he said, as he was cleaning up, he said, I think I hear something out in the woods. Could be trouble. Well, he goes out, and wouldn't you believe, suddenly we hear a splash. He walked right into a brook. Oh, we laughed and laughed. He stomped back.
Carrick,
Had quite a cross look on his face, I assure you.
I was hoping to hear a story of the other Carrick's accomplishments,
Oh,
achievements in battle.
my accomplishments? Or Hutch's, you meant? I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
I'm asking if there's anything positive that you have to say about Hutch. I'm asking if there's a story of your admiration for Hutch's accomplishments.
Oh, that's just,
Not how about how he fell into a brook.
yes, a specific story you want.
I would like.
A specific type of story, I should say.
I'm beginning to think this was a bad idea.
Okay, I think we can stop this here. Damien, how do you
Yes.
feel this went?
Not particularly well.
I tried to be folksy and
It started good.
chit-chatty, joking.
It started off really good.
started
I was
really
like
good.
getting
It did.
I was getting like the,
was really
the
good.
warmness in my heart. I was like, wow, it's like maybe in a way it's sealing the crack a little bit.
I was
but then the
actually
crack
wondering-
just got wide again.
I was wondering if there was some way that if they, like, maybe they hit it off and then, like, William would get really mad that, like, they didn't invite him.
That
And,
could have been the
like,
whole plot line.
And then William becomes a necromancer at the end because, like, like,
wow,
yeah.
because, like, he gets insane, like, angry that, like,
In an
they
alternate timeline,
they
that's
connected, they
But it
connected
turns out-
now, and he didn't, he didn't invite him. He took the blacksmith out on
turns
the water to fish it.
It was meant to be. I took him fishing and he hates Caddick even more now.
Now he hates him even more.
Did you think? How do you think you did? Honestly, before our review, how do you think you did?
You know, in retrospect, maybe I should have focused more on what this Hutch would have considered the noble aspects of other Hutch. Just kind of make up some stuff. Not make up stuff, but like
Even
really.
the aftertalk.
Like
it never stops.
I really have to be careful. Like I shared this funny story, and it's like what I did.
Right.
The truth of the matter is the respect is just not there.
This relationship was just not meant to be.
No, I don't think any timeline. I think and there's no timeline where it works. We went to another timeline to see if it could work. We gave it every possible way. You even told him directly, I want you specifically to tell me a story that tells me something good about the Hutch. You made the exact request. He couldn't do it.
Nope. Yes.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Wow. Is this enlightening for you?
Yeah, I think so.
This was therapeutic.
I mean, it kind of like confirms what I already knew.
Yeah, was it
Yeah.
therapeutic? I don't know.
I'm not saying you've learned anything. Learned anything.
Yeah,
we
it was
we
more of a
reaffirmed.
confirmation.
I feel like it made
yeah.
things worse. It just-
Reaffirmation.
It's just more.
No, if anything,
Just keep
inside,
poking at the wound here.
inside, in the fact that you did this and it still went wrong somehow makes me feel a little bit better. I don't
It's
know
like-
why.
Yeah, because
Right.
like now the
This was
question of like,
unavoidable.
yeah, like could things have gone differently if the,
No.
the
Nah,
answer is
not
no,
really,
no
no.
way.
No, so in a way, I feel better.
It's the characters.
If we gave Caddick a
It's
few
just-
more,
It's just these two characters.
if Caddick had a few more chances, give him 4
4 more chances.
4 out. It's the best of 7 boat
Best
trips.
of 7.
Best of 7 fishing trips. If I can get 4
That's-
of them,
That's what it's like being a
Wow.
best friend. You know, trust me. You give me 7 chances, I would get 4 of them right.
I think I could get a positive response of 4.
How many
trips.
positive responses?
Maybe 4. If I get 6, if we go 6 more times, I think I could get. Hutch is hard to please, it seems like, but I bet I could get at least.
I don't think he's hard to please.
That's the
I mean,
solution that we're getting
Caddick is
to.
just such a
It's that
genuine guy
innate
Right.
that I
thing.
feel like it would be hard for me to kind of pander to
Oh.
this Hutch in the way he seems to want to.
So again, but like we're getting to the conclusion that Caddick connecting with another human being, he considers pandering.
Not just any human being.
He's
though.
telling me,
Hutch
I want you to
specifically.
tell me a story about this.
It's
and if
specifically.
this story is not exactly, excuse me, how it wants me to, you want
Yes,
it to
he's just
be,
saying, be nice
Then
to
I
me,
don't
for
like
God's
it.
sake.
That is what he's saying. Here it is. Ready? Fish are good today.
Oh yeah, for sure, great.
You know, I want to say that, when we started our journey, you were my blacksmith, and you did a good job for your family. But I'm proud of you for what you did, because stepping up for being a blacksmith and fight along my side are very different things.
They are very different things.
You handle yourself, and you have a lot to learn, but we'll do it together. You're doing well. I'm excited to see what you're going to grow into.
I'm excited to be fighting by your side.
Thank you. Now let's kiss.
All right.
Leave out the last part, but like any version of just saying like, I am proud of you, or like anything affirmative.
You are a knight, and I am a knight.
I am a knight. You are a knight. You deserve it. No, you don't think so?
I mean, I thought this was supposed to be like kind of connecting on a friendly level more, not so formal. Like
He literally just wants to hear, "You are a knight. You deserve it."
this guy doesn't even know me. I'm not even the Caddick he knows. Why
But
is it so?
that's the
It's-
problem.
You
It's
can't.
not.
You can't
it's not
put these two
doesn't matter.
characters in.
Hey,
Like,
I was like, I don't understand. I don't want to be here anymore.
I think
I
it's
don't
just,
get it.
It's just really strong role playing by both of these guys. I think like they're both just playing these characters
It was fantastic.
the way that they think they should be done. And that's
If you
it.
saw this
They're
quest
not
first,
these two
you wouldn't
characters.
understand how Arky, Finn, and Holgar are fine for each other.
Yeah.
Because I think they were so different that they just worked fine. But like this one, when you point them together, it just
Mm.
just didn't work. But it was great. I mean, up to
Well
this
done.
is last episode. Hopefully, everyone is better next week. Is next week. This was a wild ride, Knights of Vandar. We wanted to get something different from Gnome Patrol from the last journey, but have a little bit of Celestial War feel, which we got Celestial War feel and Epic Journey, and but with a group that, like both groups were forced into a situation, or just had to make that choice to go along, or to give up on their own, own life and world and such. But the first one, they became best friends, and the second one, they're not enemies. Well, maybe with one, but they just didn't have the same feelings for each other. I think at the end of the day, this feels like a job,
Mm.
right? That's probably the best way to put it. Like, this is a job. We have to do this. And, you don't want to leave people behind, but, like, it's not really pulling on your heartstrings so much. I feel like if anyone lost anybody, you wouldn't really, like, go so crazy. You would with him, of course. But just a very different Celestial War. Different
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
than Celestial War.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It was interesting. This was kind of wild today. So, guys, we're gonna end it there. This was a fun introspective episode into the mind of Caddick, Hutch, and William. We saw the Necromancer threaten and try to offer a deal to Caddick and William. Next week, we will see the Necromancer offer these deals in a different way to the other members of the party. I am excited to see if anyone accepts it. I feel personally that the only person that may accept it is Liam, if he's here next week.
We all have different opinions on
Interesting.
who may accept it.
You have to put something up. I used to, when you almost got him, I was like, oh wow, he's gonna get Damien because you gave him something that like he would go for. But the fact that they can't trust you, you can't offer anything that says like I'm gonna do it.
That's where I feel like I have an advantage with one person. I feel like I can say, I can give you something that I know you want more than anything in the world.
Interesting. Oh, I know it. I don't think that person would accept,
I don't think so either.
but it's possible.
But
I
yeah,
think
but I feel like that's my best shot.
I know what you're saying, and I think
So we don't want to say it, right?
I don't want to say.
Nah,
it.
don't say it.
don't
Don't,
wanna
don't
say
Okay,
say it.
we'll see you next week. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. We will see you next week for possibly the last episode of Knights of Andar. After that, for a few weeks, we're going to have some fun and play some one-offs. Maybe a Kingdom of Eldin. We're going to see how it goes. I have some couple ideas about what we can do. We'll see how that goes. But, yes, next week might be the ending of Knights of Andar. And then it'll be a wild ride to see how this wraps up and what is the fate of Andaria. I'm excited. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us today. We will see you next time on Audio Dungeon.